What is up, everybody? Welcome back once again to Hot Toys Hotline Live, episode 42. And I have to pull this up right now because Matt says, hello there, fellow collectors. Remember, the number 42 is the answer to everything. And very fitting, right? We're on episode 42. The number 42 is the answer to everything. So that means we have all the answers, right, guys? Right? Cool. Okay, I guess I'll speak for myself. But guys, we're going to say what's up to some people in the chat. But of course, as always, got to say what's up to everybody on the panel. We have Ryan from Mr. Mom Collectibles, as always, joining us.
What's going on,
Ryan,
man? How are
it's
you?
great
Thanks
to
for
have
having
you,
me.
dude. I'm good, man. There's been an okay amount of information this week, so we got some cool stuff to talk about this week. Some surprising stuff. I didn't put everything in the description like I always do. So some stuff I didn't mention we're talking about. So a couple things will be a surprise. And we have Lane, as always, guys. Lane, the amazing Kramer, right, Lane? Look at him. He's so excited to talk about the Clone Trooper tonight, aren't you, Lane?
Yeah, I'm Tourette's and evil because we have never seen this figure before, ever.
No, never.
I mean, they forgot to go get their paint cans, apparently.
I mean, hey, I guess it saved them a little money, right? And a little bit of time.
Yeah.
That's why they push it out so quick.
Yep.
And then we have Sean from the Hot Toys Nightmare. It's great to have Sean joining us during the beginning. Lately, because of his work schedule, he hasn't been able to join us in the beginning. So it was very exciting to see him pop in. I didn't see him pop in, and Sean said, let me in. And I had to scroll down. I'm like, oh, shit, Sean's here. So we have Sean from the Hot Toys Nightmare.
Hey, everyone. Finally, I can show up on time, y'all.
So, yeah, Sean's going to have a few different accents, I think, tonight, guys. So just be prepared for that. But yeah, Sean, thanks for being here, dude. Next, we have CMB here as always. CMB, I hope you're doing well. I think you're here. I know you had to mute temporarily when we first started. I think you're here. Are you here, CMB?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. It's good to have you as always, dude. I'm excited to talk
here.
about some of this stuff. Great to have you, man. I'm excited to talk about some of this stuff tonight with you because some of it we haven't really talked about yet. And then finally, we have Owen, of course, from In the DTOF. Owen, I sent you a moderator invite for the Hot Toys Hotline chat, and I don't know if you accepted it yet.
I haven't yet. It's too much
I might
pressure.
have to kick you off the panel, dude. This is for moderators only. So.
Oh man.
He said it's too much pressure. He's like, I don't want the pressure of doing that. I'm good. But it's good to have you as always, dude. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and one of the things that I didn't mention that we're going to be talking about, you know about because we talked about it earlier today, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. I didn't get those photos I was hoping for, but we're going to go off of the original photos. But let's say what's up to some people in the chat. We already have 28 people in here, so let's see who we got in the chat tonight. Of course, as always, guys, we have some guy. Some guy says, "Let's go." We have Thursday night with Hot Toys Hotline. Where else would you be? You're here with us, guys. We very much appreciate it. And some guys are right. Thursday is the night to talk about Hot Toys and other figures with the Hot Toys Hotline group. Next, we have Payton23 here as always. He says, hello, everyone. Payton, I hope you're doing well. My boy, Boba Fettuccini. Always love to see you, dude. He says, hey, now, what's up, all? Not much, man. Just getting ready to talk about some figures, dude. Having a fun time already. 12-inch Moose Dream says, hello, community of collectors. The Justice League JI Batwing is in hand. Congrats on that, dude. That's a really big piece. I've already seen some people getting it in their collection. It's a giant piece. You really got to have room for it. So definitely send me over some pictures. I'd love to see if you've already put it out on display. Send me over some pictures of your Jazz Inc. Batwing. I'd love to see it. Let's see. Oh, and of course, guys, we got to say what's up to our boy Insane One. Unfortunately, he cannot make it tonight, but he says can't attend live, but we'll watch it on the rewind. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. The smartest chat around. And I totally agree. I think you guys are the smartest chat around. Well said, my dude. And some guy says 972 subs. Hashtag 1000 is on the horizon. Much appreciate that, dude. I appreciate you having faith in me. But yes, guys, if you're here and you're new, definitely consider subscribing. That 1,000 subscriber goal is right around the corner. I can't believe it. And one closing statement from Insane One. Believe in the N1. It's coming. Bye, folks. Well said, dude. Definitely have some belief in the M1, guys. We're going to talk about the M1 tonight. Don't you worry. Carlito is in the house. He says, hey, everyone. I hope you're doing well, Carlito. Good to see you, my friend. Wayne Timothy says, hey, everybody. Hey, Wayne. I hope you're doing well, dude. Good to see you as always. Let's see. Scrolling through. Who else we got here? OG fan is in the house, dropping everybody's links. We, as always, appreciate you, OG, and it's good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. He says, see, legendary Lane Kramer everywhere. That is true. And Lane agrees. Lane says this is true. Monica says, "Where is Pokey?" I don't know where Pokey is. I don't see him in the chat. Maybe he'll pop through. And my boy TK is in the house, guys. TK always reminds me. TK is actually a moderator, not only in the Facebook group but also in the Discord. So if you haven't joined our Star Wars memorabilia and lore Discord, where we very much talk about 6 scale all the time, there is a link in the description. So definitely hop on over there. Sluggin16 says, "Good evening, fellow collectors." Sluggin, it's good to see you, my dude. I hope you're doing well. Thick Bantha Boy says, "Live DeLorean unboxing." See, well, we were thinking about doing that with Ryan, but unfortunately Ryan did get a delay with his package, so he's getting his tomorrow. So you will be able to catch his review once he puts that up. But that kind of crushed our dreams of a live DeLorean unboxing, because I still have not gotten my my email yet. So unfortunately, we did not get a chance to do that, but that's okay. There's going to be plenty of content coming from us on those vehicles, that's for sure. KTHW is returning tonight. He says, "What's up, guys? I hope you're doing well, KTH. It's good to see you as always." But guys, we're going to get right into it. Now, first, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, but first we're going to get into the Clone Trooper, guys. So we're going to take a look. Actually, I'm going to do this for you. We're going to take a look.
Hello and welcome to.
We don't want that. We're going to take a look at Sideshow's first look video on the Attack of the Clones standard Clone Trooper. Now, mine did just ship out this week, so I'll be receiving mine on Monday. I do plan on doing a review of it. And I know Sean ordered quite a few of them. I think, Sean, you said you got 3 in hand already, right?
Yep, I got one right next to me right now.
Here, let's see.
Open it, open it, open it.
There he is. Look,
Oh,
that's one of many. Sean, can you confirm to us on stream how many you actually ordered?
it's to my knowledge that you can no longer ask me such questions.
I don't know, man. I think it's. Hey, here, let's put it this way. I tried to leave out the amount of pre-orders I had, and of course, Ryan had to tell everybody last week. I got a DM.
I guessed, by the way. So if that number's right, I can't.
I got a DM from somebody, and they were like, "Are you gonna get in trouble because of what Ryan said?" I'm like, "No."
I guessed on that number, by the way. If that number's right, then whatever.
Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. You never know. But yeah, Sean. So guys, you know Sean's a big army
12.
builder. So yeah, he already got 3 of them. You said 12?
12.
Damn, that's gonna look
Jesus.
cool, man.
That's
I
awesome.
would
See, the thing
imagine.
is, though, is
Go
I
ahead.
want for one area for my Attack of the Clones display. You know, I'll probably have about 2, maybe 4 there, and the rest are going to be wearing the Phase 2 helmet.
That's true. And with all the battle droids and stuff coming out, it's going to be really cool to have a bunch of the standard clones going along with them. I think it's going to look pretty amazing. I'm guessing that's part of your plan, right? Is to get all the battle droids and have them kind of facing off.
I don't know what I'm going to do yet on that.
I love it. Sean's just like, I got 12, and I'll figure it out when they show up.
Well, it's more like I have a general idea, but once you get something in hand, you sometimes change what you want to do.
That's true. That's true. You get inspired, right? Once you get the stuff in hand.
Yeah. You know, not to mention, you know, doing a battle scene depends on how posable the battle droids or super battle droids are.
That's true.
You know, because unfortunately, sometimes with Hot Toys, you get stuck to where you wanted a cool pose, and then, you know, you end up doing a museum pose because that's the best the figure can do.
That's true. I want to bring this up too while we're talking about it, Sean. And someone had asked in the chat, TK asked how you feel about the mouth. Now, the guys in the Discord wanted me to bring this up. A lot of people who are really into the accuracy in terms of clone helmets and clone armor, they say that the mouth is too thin. And also, I saw quite a few people saying that the helmet's still a little bit too oversized. Sean, you would probably have a more, for the Phase 1 in particular, yes. What are your thoughts on that? Since you have it in hand, you would have a more valid opinion. What are your thoughts after seeing it in person?
So, real quick, do you want to pull this up on screen and I'll show this here?
Oh, yeah. Let's see that box, man. Let me pull Sean up here. Look at that, man. I love that anniversary packaging. It's so beautiful. I'm glad they continue to do that for the different anniversary lines.
So I'll pull this out here. We can look at the Phase 1 helmet. I do think it's oversized. At least it was with the 501st. And
Yeah. I imagine they probably just brought the same thing over. I'll pull back to the main camera once you get it open. Yeah, it looks like they probably just used the same helmet because it looks very similar to me. Monica
It's
says,
too big.
he says the accuracy is an issue, but it's the oversized helmet that bothers me. And we have
That's what I
the
really-
Gambino in the house. He says, hello, everyone. Good to be here. Admiring a figure that was sold out before I even could pre-order. There are some places that still have them in stock, so definitely take a look around. I don't have any links off the top of my head, but search around. I know there are still a few places left that still have them. So if it's something you really want, I wouldn't give up on it yet, you know. But yeah.
So phase 2 helmet here.
Let me pull Sean back up. I think the phase 2 is looking good.
Here was the side without the vents being done, but now they're here. I know
nice,
a lot of
that's
people
good.
Complaining about it, but the problem is though is what a lot of people are not realizing is you go through Star Wars, the Clone Wars, and watch a lot of phase 2 helmets. Some of them did not have these, and if you go back to Revenge of the Sith, Commander Gree, his helmet does not have those vents. So they weren't with every phase 2 helmet. But either way, I'm fine with it. I'm glad they put the vents on here. But this is even if they weren't on here, I'd be fine with
it. So Owen is correcting me. Is it that the mouth lines are too thick?
Yeah, that's what people are saying.
Oh, okay. Because I swear in the Discord I read people were saying it was too thin.
Which one is it?
Here's a up close here.
Too thick or too thin?
People in the chat. I know there's some people in the chat in here. Chime in. Was it the complaint? Was it was too thin or too thick? I read too thin, I thought, but I could be wrong.
Too thick. Okay.
So Chris is saying it's too thick. Let's see.
I did see a picture compared.
Too thick. Okay.
It.
I apologize, guys. So people are saying it's too thick. Okay.
It's not too bad. You're talking like 0.5 mil.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this many times, right, guys? For me, a discrepancy like that, it doesn't bother me. I understand the people that are like accuracy purists. I get it. But for me, it doesn't bother me too much. And we're actually going to start a poll. I like Matt's thought on doing a poll on phase 1 versus phase 2 helmets. I'm actually going to start that. So let's see.
My problem is I like the phase 2 hat better.
I much
would use
prefer
that.
phase 2. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, I'm partial to the phase 1.
A lot of people are, but me. So here's my thing with the phase 2, right? It's kind of like a great look for that evolution. Evolution moving from the clone trooper into the introduction of the stormtrooper.
The one thing I'll say with the phase 1, why people also might like it, is that helps really distinguish the clone trooper from the stormtroopers.
Yeah, for sure.
That helmet, so that gives them a little bit more distinctions. When they get phase 2, you're kind of like, oh, look, it's just a stormtrooper. You could if you didn't know anything about it, you could go, well, it looks like the stormtrooper with just slightly different armor, you know? and where that helmet is distinctly like, what the hell is like, who or what is that? I've never seen a trooper like that with that helmet. And you go, well, these are the clone troopers. Like these guys were around 20, 30 years before, you know, we saw Luke Skywalker running around in the OT or something like that.
Right.
So
real quick,
that helps distinguish them.
Sorry, real quick, Sean. Could you grab one of your phase 1 501st helmets to compare to the clone trooper helmet, this new clone trooper? Could you grab that and see if the lines are any different? Because I haven't seen any comparisons. That'd be interesting to check out.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay. But guys, I did put up a poll. So the poll is up now, guys. So vote. I'm very curious to hear, and there's no wrong answer. It's really personal preference. Again, me personally, I like phase 2. Owen says he likes phase 1. So it's really personal preference. I don't think I currently have any figures with the phase 1 helmet. I had some sideshow phase 1 clones and I sold them off. So I think I have all phase 2 on my display, but I know it's really at the end of the day, personal preference. Let's see. Matt says, Googling some promo photos, the mouth does look too thick. Interesting. Yeah, I would have never caught that personally, just because I don't really look into that stuff. I get the figure in hand and I'm like, it feels good. It looks relatively good. You know, I don't really get that deep into it when it comes to accuracy with clones, especially. But I totally get it. The Gambino says this figure is magnificent, and I get why many people are not happy with the head sculpture. I still plan to get one since not everyone can afford it and need to purchase eggs. Cantina 6 scale quote. Yes, $4.66. to be exact. On
Screw
the
eggs.
quote.
I need to buy gas.
Right, gas, everything, man. So we have a great question here. Enrolled Agent says, how does the pre-order work on Sideshow in terms of payment? So Enrolled Agent, typically it really depends on when you're pre-ordering. So if you pre-order, let's say earlier, when the pre-orders first go up, let's say in the first few months, you have the option to spread it out over more payments. For a figure like this, I believe the max you could probably do is 4 payments. The nice thing is it splits it up over 4 payments. And you have the option to skip a payment or postpone a payment as they word it. So let's say that month you're short on cash. You can postpone it to the following month. Or let's say you want to make a purchase on the secondary market or whatever. You're like, cool, I can postpone this and then take those funds and use it for something this month. Or you could always, they also allow you to switch it off of a payment plan. So let's say you make 2 payments. You're like, cool, the rest I'll just set it to charge later when it releases. You could switch it to a single payment after you make those first couple payments. So there's a lot of flexibility. Typically, all you have to do is pay an NRD up front, which is a non-refundable deposit, and that's a certain percentage of the total retail value of the item. So like on a clone trooper, it's going to be like around $30, whereas like the DeLorean, the NRD on that one was what, guys, like $88, something like that, 80 something dollars. So it really depends on the item, but yeah, you're paying a percentage. And some other companies do offer payment plans, like Off the Racks, for example. You can use Shop Pay payment plan, so you could do a pay over 4. Essentially, it'll charge you every 2 weeks. So it really depends on who you purchase from. And I know Marcos with CollectorZown, he also offers payment plans as well. You just have to contact him and tell him what item you want and things like that. So definitely very flexible. Let me see. I guess Sean's still working on it. But yeah, I'm going to pull up a comparison photo. I'm guessing you sent that to me on Instagram, Owen.
Indeed.
Right, let me pull it up. So Owen apparently has a comparison photo for me here. So let's see. Okay, perfect. That very much puts it in perspective. So we're going to temporarily pull our video off, guys, because we're going to take a look at this. Hold up. All right, so here they are stacked on top of each other. And let me see if I could zoom in a little bit for you guys.
I think in a vacuum you wouldn't notice, but when you compare them like that, you can
right,
see it.
Yeah, you could definitely see it here, but it's like that's such a minor discrepancy for me personally. Again, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but for me, it's just such a minor discrepancy. I wouldn't have a problem with this personally, but again, I do understand it. Those of you who are into accuracy, these are expensive figures at the end of the day, so I do totally get it.
Although it could be camera angle. I think if that bottom image, his head was tilted up a little bit. So if maybe Sean...
Right, it could make it a litlittle bit better as well. Yeah, once Sean gets them together, we'll take a look at that.
All the plastic wrap off.
I know. All right, so Sean's got him next. So here we go, guys. This is the 501st Trooper Phase 1 versus the... So it looks exactly the same to me. It looks like they use the same mold. Yep.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. For those who had a complaint about the oversized helmet, it looks like they use the exact same one. Thank you, Sean, for doing that. Do you have the 2 Phase 2 helmets by chance?
Yeah.
Oh, Sean was prepared. Here we go. Those appear to be identical to me as well. I don't know if you noticed any differences, Sean.
No, I'm not. Oops,
Oh,
and it's gone.
Sean. It's just split in half. Man down. I guess Sean's
No,
just...
it went underneath my
my
couch.
Oh no! All right, well we'll take the camera off because you're gonna have to you're gonna have to recover that later. But
I want to see him move the couch. Actually,
I know you're gonna have to use a Phase 1 helmet on that one, Sean. No problem, Enrolled. Thank you for so yes, and then Collecting Man just wanted to clarify: 10% charge is what you would pay for the NRD. Polo says the Clone Pilot waitlist opened back up. So yeah, guys, on Sideshow, if you like to purchase through them, head on over. It looks like the waitlist is opened up. Thank you, Polo, and good to see you as always. By the way, and Gambino says, "Hot Toys Nightmare, I just subscribed to your channel, my friend. Thank you so much for that. We very much appreciate you checking out Sean's channel. Thank you." So Thick Bantha Boy, $82.50 for the NRD on the DeLorean. How could I forget, man? That's a pricey NRD. It's a pricey piece to begin with, but Thick Bantha Boy says the bottom pick does have a slight head tilt. Yeah, and that's what Owen was saying. So I'm sure it kind of skews the vision a little bit. Again, for me, it looks like such a minor discrepancy. I don't personally care. I would say it probably still is off a little bit, like people are saying, but it's just a minor discrepancy in my opinion. But let's go back to our video so we can see some more of the unboxing. let's see. Polo says Clone Commander on the coming soon page. Is that new? As far as I understand, he's been on there ever since they first showed him off. They've since removed some, but I think he's been on there for a while, so I don't think that's new. But I could be wrong. But yeah, my overall thoughts on this figure, guys. Obviously, if you have the 501st, I have a feeling this is going to be almost identical, or the Coruscant Guard or what have you. Like, this is going to be very similar to those. If you are happy with that and you don't have a huge problem with the Phase 1 helmet, I think you'll be very satisfied with this one. Again, mine won't be here Monday. I'll be able to check it out in hand once it arrives. I'll probably end up doing a review on it to show it to you all. But I really very much enjoy this this packaging too. I love the anniversary stuff. When they introduced that with Empire Strikes Back, I was really hoping they would continue to do it, because at first they did it with the Kenner Boba Fett, and I was like, oh, it might just be a nod to that old style like Kenner packaging. But no, they continued to offer it moving forward. So I think that's really cool, and I think he comes with a decent amount of stuff for the price. I think most people would agree. But we'll go down the panel and see how many people here are picking this up, or if anybody has any thoughts. Ryan, do you have any thoughts as you pick this one up? What are your thoughts on the
No, I missed out on this one. So sorry, my daughter's crying. If anyone hears that, she's going to bed. You hear that? I didn't get this one. It's sold out before I can grab it. And honestly, I mean, I wasn't too upset about it, to be honest with you. So I didn't get this one, but I passed on it. But I don't think I had the opportunity, because by the time I maybe would have shown interest, it was already sold out. But I think I'm on the wait list for it. If something converts, I might think about it, but nothing I'm too interested in. I mean, I'm for all those who got it, it's great, but yeah, not enough. It was a pass for me.
That's fair. V818 says the Clone Troopers 500 on eBay. Is that sold listings or asking? I'm very curious. Now, another thing before we move on to Lane, another thing I want to mention, guys, about this figure, and we had talked about this previously, is this is the first figure that went to waitlist early and is now beginning to ship. So this is our first test case, guys. I know there's been a lot of conspiracies thrown around, a lot of confusion with the early waitlist stuff with Sideshow. So this is really going to be our first test. So over these next few weeks to a month, people already are getting theirs from Sideshow, of course. We're going to see what happens. Now, again, I've said before, my theory with the whole waitlist situation is I think what they're going to do, because they're filling up these waitlists and now reopening a waitlist for the Clone Trooper, or excuse me, the Clone Pilot, is I think that what they're going to do is they're just going to go down the waitlist and just keep converting as they get cancellations. And I think they'll probably do the same with whatever leftover stock they have at the end of the day. But that's just my input on it. But moving on to Lane. Lane, what are your thoughts on this Clone Trooper? And is this one that you were considering at all picking up, or have you pre-ordered it already?
No, I haven't. I didn't pre-order it. I'm on the wait list for it, I guess, possibly for one. But pretty much most of the Attack of the Clones line, I really kind of decided to pass on. And I'm waiting for Return of the Jedi, since that's my favorite Star Wars movie of all time.
Thanks for reminding me, Lane. I'm getting excited about Return of the Jedi, man.
I know. Well, that's what I was going to say. When we start talking, we commented the last couple of years when you have to maybe even for just in a property, you have to decide on a line. Well, when we're talking about Star Wars, we mean literally on a line, because there always seem to be at least like 4 or 5 or 6 figures or something that come out for one show. Unless you're named Andor. Hello, Howie. This is not the 2 figures for a Marvel Plus show, Disney Plus show that we seem to get, or one. This is always like there's multiple, so you kind of have to decide, are you in or out on a line for whatever the show will be if they make them, So yeah. I think it looks cool though. It's hard for me to say, though, that this, like, I would get this over even still getting maybe a 501st or something, because it's more unique looking, than this guy is. That's maybe the one thing
I would agree.
Me. Now, I will say my final thought with this figure is the nice thing for this one is it's got the Phase 1, so you can make it Attack of the Clones. Or if you're getting a couple of them, you can put on the Phase 2 helmet, and you could have it be where like they're enemy soldiers with the Bad Batchers, say, or just an example or something like that. Yeah. Because they went back to being just plain white, the Clone Troopers did. They got rid of all the coloration and everything for them, with the rise of the Empire. So it's not just, Attack of the Clones you could use these figures for. Mm-hmm. You could use them in some even like Bad Batch setups or pictures or whatever too. So they do have a little bit of functionality to be used in multiple scenarios. So that's a
Very
good thing.
true. And
just
another
look
one,
at this
this is
movement for him like that and stuff, man.
right.
Great.
They've nailed it. When it comes to the clones, I will say that, accuracy aside, obviously with the issues some people have, in terms of the posability, I think they did a great job considering it is a fully armored figure. I think they did a great job.
Do you think this is the bodies that they use for the Coruscant guards? Because those guys were supposed to be more posable than the 501st.
It's possible. I mean, the bodies haven't exactly been 100% the same between all of the clones.
Yeah.
I have all of the clones that have been released thus far, and I could tell you
Yeah.
they're not all the same. So I would have to wait. I haven't watched any official reviews, and Sean may be able to confirm that for us if the body has ratchets and such.
Yeah, I had a question for Sean actually about the ankles for if I'm assuming he's opened all 3 of them already.
If it were Sean, I would not assume that because he just opened one of them. I was about to say, I would not assume that Sean does that.
No, it's because like with my Rex, like way back when I got him, I had problems where like the feet would pop off the pegs and stuff, and so I didn't know.
I never personally had that issue. That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know maybe if there was one thing to keep out if there's any, just because the way these guys are designed with the feet and everything with the armor, if they might have any looseness to the pegs in the joint right there with the feet possibly.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to say what's up to some people I missed. Go ahead, Sean, and then I'll do my piece after.
I was just gonna say I've only had a problem with, out of all the clones that I've had, only one had feet problems.
I mean, and Sean has a lot of clones, so I guess that's pretty consistent. Maybe you just got a lemon lane. It's possible. It's possible you got one.
I do attract.
Okay. But real quick, guys, I want to say what's up. I missed some people in the chat. What's up to 8-Bit Flea? 8-Bit Flea says, Phase 1 reminds me of the Clone Wars show, so I like it more. Very fair to say. Very much fair to say. And we're going to probably be getting some more clone stuff from the Tartakovsky Clone Wars, so I'm excited to see what else we get from that. Also, our boy 16 Star Wars Pimpazoid, he says he can only order 3, but he needs another 3. I hope you're able to find those other 3, dude. I know they cut off some stuff. It's very random how they do that limit with certain things. They kind of pick and choose. Even the DeLorean, I think, still has a 6 limit. So I hope you're able to pick up the other 3 that you're looking for. And who else did I miss here? Oh, HG is in the house. He says, hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I know HG is getting some of these clones. That's for sure. I'm sure he's already commented it somewhere. And also, of course, we can't forget our boy Big Dog Pound with the woo in the chat, tagging everybody. What's up, Big Dog Pound? It's good to see you. And Chris and Alex also dropping some knowledge in the chat, kind of adding on to what we were talking about when it comes to payment plans. Alex Stark says, remember that you can change or postpone a payment only a couple of times because they need to be on time. So yeah, eventually they'll cut you off and you'll get a message saying you've basically changed the amount of payments, or excuse me, changed the payment plan, the maximum number of times. So definitely keep an eye on that. But guys,
it's usually 3.
Yeah, I've noticed on some stuff, it depends on how late in the game you pre-order it. Like if you pre-order it later, I had one that only let me postpone it once, but the early pre-orders, yeah, you could do up to 3. So I guess it really depends on when you pre-order. Like if you're late to the game, it takes a while. I don't think Lane got the clone pilots either. Lane, did you end up picking up any of the clones from this wave?
I didn't get any of the.
Yeah, I didn't.
I'm not getting any of the clones.
I guess that's scorched earth then.
I have the pilot. But I have the pilot like on the wait list too. So like I've got both the clones because I'm a trooper guy. Like at the end of the day, like I'm a trooper guy.
Right.
So I never, the one thing I'll never say never to. Is there any hint? There's no chance ever you will possibly buy this trooper unless it's like, a different funny color, like the chrome troopers or something.
Right.
Like a main trooper look or main trooper. Will I completely say no? No. But I mean, I'm in Ryan's same thing. If the wait list doesn't convert or something, or it converts like, a year from now or something like they sometimes can, probably not going to go for it, because there'll be some, there'll be Return of the Jedi stormtroopers or scout troopers or, Crimson Guardsmen or something that'll be out there that I want, instead.
That's fair. All right, we're going to move on to Owen. And guys, once again, we have a poll up. So if you haven't voted in the poll, let us know Phase 1 versus Phase 2. I'm already looking at it and it's making me upset because I see that Phase 2 is losing. But that's okay, guys. Be honest with your votes. As we move on to Owen to hear Owen's thoughts on the Clone Trooper, drop your votes vote in that poll. Let us know phase 1 versus phase 2. Who wins? And also, guys, it looks like Pokey, the clone, the trooper guy, has been summoned. He says, I'm going to need more of these clones. They did miss the paint at the very end of the mouth, though. But that's all right. You know, I know Pokey's going to buy them anyway, so it's okay. But let's move on to Owen. Owen, what are your thoughts on this clone trooper, man? And did you pick any up, or are you going to be looking for some if you haven't already?
I haven't picked any up, but I kind of want one after watching the video. I can't lie. In the background here, I really like the phase 1 helmet. I think the other guy said it, that it's like Clone Wars, the show,
and that's a very fair point. Yeah,
I think like obviously I'm younger, so for me, like these were my stormtroopers. I think like everything Star Wars. Like if I went to the shop to buy a toy, it was the clone troopers and it was the phase 1 ones. Like in my childhood. And if I went for a phase 2, I think I'd probably go for the 501st. I think I prefer the bit of blue. Yeah. I don't know. But I really like the visor on the phase 1. And that packaging it's kind of swaying me. I can't lie too.
It's mint, man. It's mint. It really is. But yeah, I mean,
I think I might get 2.
So it's funny. Like for me, it always depends on the troopers if I get 2. But it's like with all this stuff they're hitting us with, I'm like, dude, I got to just go with 1 and then be sparing with the 2s that I get. Like I got to get 2 super battle droids. I got 2 B1s, you know what I mean? But it's like I have so many clones. I won't mind just throwing in one of these with my 501st because I've got 3 501st in my display. I've got 2 Captain, you know what I mean? 2 Captain Rexes. So, but yeah, I get it. That's how it is sometimes, dude. It's like that nostalgia kick. It gets you, man. Yeah. And for me, it's funny because for me, it was the opposite. I always grabbed the bad guys. I always grabbed Darth Vader off the shelf. I always went for Stormtroopers. So it's funny. I didn't start getting into clones until the Clone Wars show came out. Sure. Like I love the Tartakovsky Clone Wars, but as I was watching that, I was really watching it for General Grievous and for the Jedi and stuff. I wasn't really sucked into clones. Fordo was kind of getting me there, but it was really the Clone Wars show that really got me sucked into the whole idea of the clones, you know?
Yeah.
Pokey says he even prefers these plain white clones. He said he regrets getting as many 501st. Dude, a lot of people got a lot of 501st troopers. So that's
crazy little bastards.
I know only the best battalion. No big deal. I mean, only the best battalion. You know, all the 212 fans. I know Penn in the chat's about to go nuts. But it's all right.
I want 104th though. That's the best battalion.
Yeah, and 41st would be dope. Obviously, we're really hoping for the 41st as well. Yeah, I think Sean did get approximately 300 501st. I think you're right with that, Monica. But is that everything you had to say?
Generally? Yeah, that's me good.
Okay, cool. So we're going to move on to CMB. CMB, did you have any thoughts, and how many of these are you picking up, if any?
Everybody pretty much touched on the thoughts. Like, you know, great figure. I missed out because of my situation, but I have my backups. So starting next week, I get to hit up.
I can't wait! I can't wait, dude. I'm gonna be rubbing my hands together. I'm like, you show me that invoice because I know you're about to grab a bunch of stuff. I can't wait,
grab
dude.
A bunch.
I can't wait. You're about to grab so much stuff, and I'm excited for you, man. I really am. That's gonna be dope.
Catch-up game.
Yeah, it's never fun, but it'll be put a smile on your face having all those pre-orders, won't it?
Oh yeah, dude. By the time Friday hits next week, I'll hit you up with probably 80 orders.
CMB about to be like Conor McGregor throwing the money around next week.
Yeah, that's
about to be like a Tuesday night stripper, just rolling in the dollar bills.
CMB, we gotta do a live stream of just watching you buy stuff for 3 hours.
Money, 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 money. Here comes the money. That starts playing in the background. By the way, I want to say what's up to my boy Eddie Rodriguez. He says, "What's up, Hot Toys Hotline Squad? What's up, Eddie? I hope you're doing well, my dude. Good to see you, my man." But yeah, CMB, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for you to finally get some stuff in your collection out of these new pre-orders because I know you've been just eager to do it. But yeah, man.
Yeah, can't wait till this thing's over.
Yeah,
on Tuesday. It'll be over.
We're gonna celebrate. Now, let me ask you before we move on to Sean. Does the phase 1 helmet bother you at all? I think I already know your answer, but does it bother you at all? The minor inaccuracy with the mouth?
No, minor inaccuracy does not bother me because.
Oh, we summoned Sean. Okay.
I'm sorry. Well, Sean said Sean.
That'll be sorry. I said before we move on to Sean. That's all right. Once we finish with CMB, that'll be my first question for you.
I apologize. My bad. Please forgive me.
You own the Hot Toy, Sean. Specifically, one of these clones.
I'll take one of those clones. One of these clones, bro.
Pokey says minor. Look, I should.
Well,
Okay, Pokey, minor to me. Minor inaccuracy to me. I'll say that. I'll give you that. Minor
to me as
inaccuracy
well.
to me.
Because I mean, honestly, if you're just looking at the display, how many people are gonna go really close up to it and say, "Hey, that mouth is wrong"?
Right. Yeah, that's true. Raxa says cheaper to buy blanks and paint them, more authentic since the clones painted their armor. Make it look like smudges. Very true. Very true. Let me go back. All right. So let me see. I missed it. Oh, here we go. Here's a comment I wanted to read. Carlito says there were a ton of 501st. That was a major army build figure. Absolutely, it was. Some were getting 12 of them, still lasted a long time. Yeah, it did. And that was the time, of course, when they were really, really stocking this stuff. So I'm not surprised at all that it lasted that long and people were able to buy so many, because that's when the warehouse was full of 501st clones, right? And 2 different SKUs, right? We had the standard and we had the deluxe. So yeah, I wasn't surprised by that at all. But yeah, moving on to Sean. And Sean, we could start with that question. Does the inaccuracy on the helmet bother you at all, on the Phase 1 helmet in particular?
No, it doesn't. Because it's minor, if anything. Because if you look at all the inaccuracies from not even though this is for Attack of the Clone, look at Star Wars: The Clone Wars. There's little inaccuracies on people's helmets all the time that you would see on there. So it doesn't really bother me on that. What kind of annoys me more than anything on the Phase 1 helmet is here for the 501st, because the 501st never had blue on their uniforms for Phase 1.
Right.
Only a few select individuals had their own paint pattern on the 501st. So I don't get why, this design, I mean, I'm sure they got this design from somewhere, and maybe it was a concept art.
Right. Some sort of reference materials they were provided with.
Yeah, but we never saw that. But overall with this, it's awesome. I mean, it's the same, it's ratcheted hips.
Nice. So would you say it's similar to the Coruscant guard body? Well, I know that one's like highly regarded.
I think Hot Toys was still improving the 501st at the same time as Coruscant, because I have some that are the same quality,
right,
as a Coruscant guard are. And overall, it's all a good piece. And the first 501st I got, they were really, some of them were not as great. And then, the next set that I started buying, they started having ratcheted hips and tighter shoulders, which helped with posability. So I think what was happening with the 501st is they kept making them and they kept improving them before they sold out. That's my thoughts.
Yeah.
On it.
I think you're probably right. Yeah, I think they've had a chance to do that between figures, and I'm excited to check this one out, because it sounds like the body is probably one of the better ones they've done. Right? I think you would say that, and you would have a lot of experience, obviously, because you've owned so many and you've posed so many.
It's actually pretty tight in here, forcing it into position, like to get this.
I'm gonna give you a pass on that one, Sean. I know you would get me on that. I'm gonna give you a pass.
No, it's okay. You can get me on that.
No, I'm gonna give you a pass on that one, Sean. I'm gonna be the nice guy. I'm be the bigger man today.
But I mean, getting this pose for his arms to be in this position was a little bit hard.
Let me pull you up.
However,
there you go. I mean, hey, I mean, that's perfectly acceptable to me. I mean, that's a pretty difficult pose, especially for some of the older stormtroopers. That's very difficult. So that's pretty solid, in my opinion, considering you can have them looking down the sights.
And with how hard it was, I think that's a good sign that it'll stay in that pose for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Especially with the ratchets, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, appreciate your thoughts on that, Sean. And now we do have a good question in the chat that I wanted to address. Let's see. From De Gambino, he says, I know everyone has a preference, but can someone tell me what is the most popular clone in Star Wars history? I could offer up a few. It's hard to choose an exact one, but Captain Rex, Commander Cody, and I would say Fordo. I think Fordo is probably in the running. Obviously, he was kind of a meme for the longest time for many years. So because of that, I think that he kind of gained a lot of popularity. So I would probably venture to say those three people in the chat. Definitely feel free to throw in your favorites, but those are the three that come to my mind off the top of my head that I think a lot of people are big fans of. Yeah. So we got Rex. Gambino saying Rex. Yeah, I mean, Captain Rex you got to remember, Captain Rex has been in a lot of different Star Wars content, right? So, I mean, he's not only been in Clone Wars, but he's been in Rebels. And then we got our retcon version of Captain Rex, aka Nick Saint in Return of the Jedi. So it's like, he's definitely a big one. HG says, I'd say Commander Gree. Of course you would. But hey, Commander Gree is another big one for sure.
My vote's Boba.
Boba. That's funny. Jango Fett, maybe. Hey, we got to think outside the box. Owen's right. What about Boba Fett, man? We can't pass up on Boba Fett. That's a great question, though. Yes, KTH, by the way. And Fives as well. Yes, cool. Thank you, cool. Fives is another big one. KTH says, everyone check out Mando Season 3 premiere last night. Yes, I did. I absolutely enjoyed it. By the way, guys, just out of respect for everybody, please no spoilers. And KTH, this isn't directed at you, but you reminded me to say it. Please no spoilers in the chat. Moderators, if anything pops through, please get rid of it, just because, we'd like to at least wait until the next episode to talk about this specifically, because we haven't said this is like a spoiler stream or anything. So, but yes, I did see it, KTH, and it was absolutely wonderful for a premiere. I really very much enjoyed it. I was a little worried because of the length of the episode, but I think they managed their time very, very well in that episode. And I think it was awesome. And I think a lot of people on the panel would agree, because I've talked to a lot of you, and you guys were like, yeah, it was dope. I very much enjoyed it. Sexy Rexy is numero uno, says Sarlacc Manuts. Quite the name there, dude. Very clever. I'll give you some points for that one. Sarlacc Manuts. I like that. All right. So now, guys, we're going to move on from the clone. This is going to be the very fun topic tonight. Actually, before we move on, let me close the poll real quick. Guys, get your votes in. You got 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, look at that. Guys, I can't make this up. Literally, as I was closing the poll, the percentage is just tied. We have a 50-50 split for the phase 1 and the phase 2 clone helmets and armor. So there you go, guys. It looks like the fans are divided. So
that's pretty fair, though.
I'm cool with that. Half and half. The phase 1s were winning up until I said that. So maybe the phase 2 magic just came at the end. But yes, guys, we have a split 50-50 on phase 1, phase 2. Oh, yeah. Big spoiler, guys. No one spotted that Grogu died in that episode. I can't believe they started off the episode that way. But let me see. Let me pull up this video here. Move on to the next video here. Sorry, I do not have the tab put up on screen, but here we go. All right, guys. So he's the talk of the town right now, baby. We got The Mandalorian Ahsoka has been released in Hong Kong. Not only that, guys, we're going to talk about Last Chance, but guess who is currently on the Last Chance page? And I know everybody right now is like, ain't no way. Ain't no way she's on the Last Chance page. This is an old pre-order. I get it. I'm just letting you guys know she is on the Last Chance page right now, and that's kind of the big topic of discussion behind her right now. Now, I will say I have to apologize to Ahsoka, to her face right now, and I think Owen and I both owe her an apology, because when we first saw the packaging, we're like, what's going on with this, man? This doesn't look like a DX, right? But after we saw the packaging, I'm like, man, this package is beautiful. This is very much a DX packaging. So I have not watched this first look yet. I don't know if they show the packaging in this video, but I hope that they do. If not, I do have another video we're going to play afterwards where they do show that. But guys, I'm going to start off with my thoughts. Now, of course, let me go back to this first shot here. Of course, the first topic of discussion whenever we talk about a figure with a head sculpt is always the head sculpt, right? Now, I will say this. My personal thought on this head sculpt, and a lot of people were PMing me and asking me about it, I think it looks fantastic. Is it 100% Rosario Dawson? It is not. I'll be honest with you, it is not. But for an Ahsoka Tano likeness figure, I think it looks fantastic. Excuse me, head sculpt. I think it looks fantastic. And Owen kind of brought this up before we started the stream. He says he could see some like animated aspects to it, and I totally agree with that. But I think overall it does look pretty fantastic. It's just not 100% Rosario Dawson, in my opinion. Does that detract from the figure at all for me? No, because the head sculpt still looks good, right? Is it 100% her? No, but does it look excellent? I think it does. And I do want to hear thoughts. Of course, the panel is going to talk about their thoughts, but I do want to hear everybody's thoughts in the chat. What you think of this head sculpt for Ahsoka Tano from The Mandalorian. Monica says, for everyone who got the DX21 rather than the DX20, LMAO rip. I know it's funny because I really want that DX20 base. I really like that DX20 base with that like water behind it. That was based on that scene, right, where Ahsoka fought. I forgot that character's name, but Ahsoka was fighting the girl with the Beskar spear.
Lady,
yeah. I forgot her name. Someone in the chat knows. I know that.
She was not
knows.
exactly the most memorable bad guy.
No, but it was a great scene, right? And the theatrics that they achieved, kind of playing off of the glow of Ahsoka's lightsabers in that scene and kind of balancing the colors.
The fact she was able to last 5 seconds against Ahsoka without being force powerful or anything.
She was no slouch. I mean, Ahsoka obviously bested her, but she was no slouch, that's for sure. Yeah.
She did better than Din Djarin almost did when they got into fisticuffs.
Yeah, that's true. Crazy that he got whacked in the first 2 minutes of the episode. Rest in peace, Grogu. Raxa says it's not supposed to be, though. She's supposed to look like Ahsoka, not Rosario. Well, I would disagree because it's supposed to look like Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano. I do get what you're saying, and again, I have no issues with it. But this is based on the Mandalorian Ahsoka played by Rosario Dawson. The paint and everything and prosthetics are applied to Rosario Dawson, so I understand why collectors would expect a Rosario Dawson likeness within the sculpt. You know what I mean? But with that being said, it's still a fantastic sculpt. I'm not complaining whatsoever. When we go on these streams and we talk about these figures, I like to echo the thoughts not only of myself but of the community, things that we're seeing, right? So I talked about the Phase 1 helmet. That didn't really bother me, but people said, please talk about it because it's upsetting us. You know what I mean? So that's why I bring this stuff up. But let's see. Thick Bath Boy says it perfectly. He says packaging is DX, but the swag it comes with is not. Howie punked us. He did punk us. Absolutely, he punked us. I would agree, though. I think, and Owen and I talked about this again. As I mentioned earlier, Owen and I brought this up when we were talking in the Hot Toys Hotline Facebook chat. We were saying like it just doesn't feel like a DX in terms of what it comes with. And
we've been talking about this since it was announced 1.5 years ago.
That's true, right? That's true. It's just the DX line is kind of getting watered down a little bit. It's right. So like a big commonplace with the DX line was always rolling eyeballs, the PERS system. That's a commonplace with most releases now from Hot Toys. We used to have multiple bodies, like an example that Owen and I were talking about. A few examples: DX07 Luke Skywalker. You got 2 full bodies, battle damage clothing, battle damage head sculpt, a completely different sculpt. And it's like, that's how they started the DX15 Jack Sparrow with that beautiful diorama base and all those accessories. So it's like, for years, the DX line was known for Terminator. The DX10 came with the liquid metal T1000. If you got the special exclusive, it came with the T1000 head sculpt likeness, the swap out. So that's what we were used to for years with the DX line, right? And it's like, it is definitely getting watered down a little bit.
And it was literally the deluxe line, but now we've got 500 different, deluxe is just a deluxe edition is used for like super sparingly. So I mean, that was the deluxe. For a deluxe was a rare occurrence, and now there's 500 deluxe editions. And I mean, we were making fun of there's a deluxe basically now,
right?
Some of these, and we're like this, technically both are DXs, but one's a deluxe version of it, and we're like, okay.
Oh, sorry, I had to stop you, Lane. I love the look of the DX packaging, dude. It just never gets old, man. How they frame the characters and they have the little font text next to them. I love it. I do love it. I got to be honest with you.
It's so classy.
With the packaging. It is very classy, and it's like, can you imagine if every Hot Toys box was like this? That would be the perfect world, right?
Yeah, it just, I guess the problem is that all it seems to do is make the box a little extra bigger and thicker, and take up more space.
That's true. It is a large box. If you guys own any DXs, it's a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, and this still comes with a lot. But like when I was considering getting her, I was just considering the regular one because I didn't care about the diorama base and I didn't need another Grogu. Even though, as we'll see, this one's actually a little bit.
The Grogu's a little special, Lane, and they got me because I'm like, I don't need another Grogu. I did pre-order the DX21, but I was like, I don't really need another Grogu. And then we saw the posable arms and the swap out hands and how the swap out hands are perfectly placed inside the box. And I'm like, I'm kind of excited to get that DX21.
I know. Then I was asking, why wasn't this with Chrome Mando?
Right, exactly.
That was the other,
because they wanted you to get this, Lane.
Because he's a delight. There's a deluxe version of that costs more than this, both versions. $330 and $375. So.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that maybe had made sense to make that the DX version?
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
the DX line and stuff instead of this, maybe.
yeah,
All
they've
right,
been
we're
throwing
getting.
around.
Let's not worry about.
Yeah,
that.
they've been throwing out a lot of DX stuff lately, and some make sense and some doesn't. I want to address some comments real quick. So, Penn says the administrator. A couple people say the magistrate. So, guys, to clarify earlier, the female character I was talking about is the administrator or the magistrate. Thank you. I was trying to remember her specific name. I don't remember if they told us her exact name. Looks like Elizabeth or Elsbeth. Sorry, Elsbeth. Morgan Elsbeth. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate you. Yeah, and so here's one of the concerns, right, with this release is people are saying the lightsabers don't even light up. I think part of the reason they didn't give us the light up lightsabers is whether it was the USB technology or the old technologies, because this is a full seamless body, right? Because of that, you can't do the swap out arms like we're used to. Now, and someone had mentioned earlier that they're worried about the seamless body causing issues over time. And of course, that's a very valid concern because with the previous Ahsoka, the Clone Wars version, we saw that, right? We saw deterioration issues already from people leaving it in a pose. I will say, though, how beautiful does this seamless body look, especially that over the shoulder look? I think they kind of nailed her proportions very well. I think the body looks fantastic. Of course, me personally, you guys know I'm going to go on the safer route and put mine in a very basic pose. However, I think she looks absolutely fantastic. I'm very, very excited to get this. And I know a lot of people are probably going to be waiting for the Ahsoka show because they have fixed her montrails and made them a bit longer, more accurate to how we see Ahsoka in the Clone Wars cartoon and Rebels. So I know a lot of people are excited to check out a figure of her from the Ahsoka show because they have fixed that look. But overall, I still think it looks very fantastic. And if you like the scenes with Ahsoka from The Mandalorian, I could see why you would end up picking this one up, especially like when you first see her appear in the forest and those lightsabers light up, right? It's definitely a really cool moment. And Big Dog Pound thinks that the next one will have USB lightsabers. It's very possible. Peyton says the DX is about dead, it looks like, and very, very possible that they might end up getting rid of the DX line eventually, unless they innovate and make some changes. It's very possible. But Lane, we kind of touched on your thoughts. Ryan, is this going to be one you end up picking up, or do you have any thoughts, especially about the head sculpt?
I really like this one a lot. I'm leaning towards I'm probably not going to get it just because it doesn't, I'm working on other stuff right now. I am tempted, to be honest. I'm kind of in between, but I think it is a great figure overall. I mean, it's hard to complain about it. It really is. I think the sculpt looks great, and like you said, touched on it. Like it looks like Ahsoka. Like the sculpt when I first saw it, it looked really great. When you compare it next to Rosario Dawson, it does lose some likeness, but I mean, I think it looks fantastic overall. I haven't seen anyone really trash this thing. I mean, it looks great. I think it's one of those figures that it's in an awkward, when it was announced, it was in an awkward phase where like the DX, like you said, the DX features became a lot more saturated amongst other figures, like the rolling eyeballs, the USB lightsabers. I just think that this one, unfortunately, was released at an awkward technological point for Hot Toys, maybe, where they were advancing towards newer stuff. And this is one of those. It was just kind of, in between, so they couldn't really do anything with it. Like I said, the seamless body, which is great, but like you touched on with the lightsabers, they probably just didn't either have the time or it was too far in advancement to do USB lightsabers. Right. So they saved that technology for a couple future releases. I think it would look gorgeous. The white lightsabers, USB lit up. I think that would look gorgeous. I agree, man. I know a third party or, there's people out there that do it. I know someone's going to do it, so I'm not concerned about that. But I think it would just look gorgeous with the USB lightsaber. So, I mean, realistically, I think they're going to do another one when they do the show. I kind of find it hard not to. But it's just one of those that, unfortunately, there's just figures, when you're working on existing pre-orders, there's just ones that come out that you have to just, unfortunately, just cut ties with it. And this is one. I don't see my opinion changing over the next couple days. So it's one of those I have to unfortunately pass on. But for anyone who's getting it, congrats. Absolutely love it. I don't have a negative thing to say about it. That's fair. And Ryan, if you change your mind, you'll get a second chance at her once the Ahsoka show comes out, because we know we're going to get a like if it goes waitlist, I'll throw a waitlist in there. Maybe if I get a conversion like in a month, maybe when I paid off a few things, then I might flip it and convert it. But I'll play it. I'll let it stretch out a little bit. Right. Maybe that's the temptation you need. Yeah. Because I just got the Chrome Mando, and I just see shots with Chrome Mando, and now I'm kind of like, it does look. They do look good together. Look good with Chrome Mando, and I love that Grogu, man. I don't want to sleep on that Grogu because I love how he has his arms outstretched, and you can fully pose him, and he's got swap out hands. I think that's very neat, personally.
Look at that nightmare fuel right there. She got her whole head removed. I want to touch on this comment. BMW, and this is something that, again, that we talked about the other day. BMW says, I feel DX is detailed extra as in body improvements and in cut and sew. Deluxe is more accessorized and collector is basic. So, I mean, I will say, like, yeah, this one does look very nicely tailored, but I don't think that particularly constitutes a DX always. You know what I mean? The DX, I think, for the most part, they kind of catered that towards people who wanted multiple looks for the characters, swap out parts, extra features like the rolling eyeballs. So I think that's what really the DX line, and of course, fancier packaging. I think that's what they originally geared the DX line. I don't think they've ever really marketed as having better tailoring than the other stuff. Maybe in the past, but I've never personally seen that recently. But it's a good point you bring up, because that's, again, goes with our conversation. It's like, well, what constitutes a DX now if they're giving everything the PERS eyeballs and everything like that? So, Smoking if you got him's in the house. What's up, dude? I hope you're doing well. He says she's smoking. She is smoking indeed. I think she looks great. And he also says, I'm going to get another version of her down the road since too many better things are coming in the coming months. So I definitely agree with that, dude. And again, it's very fair to assume that we're going to get another one from the Ahsoka show. 8-Bit Flea says, the thing is, we don't know if the Hot Toys lightsabers are going to be bright or just like we have now with the USB. I would say that's a very good assumption. We don't know. But I would hope that they're going to be brighter than those crappy little button cell batteries that we get, because obviously those don't put out a lot of wattage, right? So I would hope so. But we don't know. We got to wait and see. Lane, I don't know if you had anything additional to add. I know you kind of said most of your thoughts already on Ahsoka, but did you have anything additional to add before we move on to Owen?
I would just say despite with my kind of a little bit of indifferences figure, because I wanted Clone Wars Ahsoka. Yeah, but this one proposing, I think, is just going to be easier to a certain extent, just because of the material that'll cover any tears or anything like that. Although, if you're going to end up trying to sell her later down the road, you might have to be checking that and stuff like that, because you may not notice necessarily. But I guess the only thing you have to kind of worry about with this is the same thing you would have, like with the Wonder Woman, 84 that came out,
right?
Where they've got seamless here, and I think you have a little bit. This it looks like from the movements, she should be pretty decently posable, though. Maybe it's the material is a little bit more reinforced and stuff.
Yeah, you just got to be careful, because you don't want
to put it like a really sharp thing. You can still probably have like the legs and move, like the movement for her legs and stuff is great. So I think you can still, maybe you have to be a little restrained on the arms a little bit, but the legs you probably go crazy with. You can do a cool Jedi pose and leave her in a pretty neat Jedi pose. You just can't
without going crazy with the arms.
Yeah, like elbow up like this up real high or something. But yeah, that would pretty much. I think if you're interested in it, it's worth getting. But I'm personally waiting for the Ahsoka show later this year. If there was not an Ahsoka show,
very fair,
maybe till 2024 or 2020. Like it was still a year away, let's say, or something like that. I might probably pick this up, because it's like, well, I don't want to wait till 2026 for a Rosario, Ahsoka. Right. All right. But that would be what I have to say.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for sharing your thoughts, Lane. Eddie says the next one might not be this good. You never know. Of course, that's always the gamble you take. But I think a lot of people are willing to wait just to see if the next one is more their liking, especially with the longer Montrails. A lot of people are going to be waiting for that. So, Owen, and of course, you and I have talked about this, but we want to let everybody know your thoughts on it. What are your thoughts on this package as a whole? And of course, throw in your thoughts about the DX as well, since we kind of extensively talked about that.
The DX thing's weird. I mean, the inclusion of Grogu with the movable arms is cool, but I do think he could have included a second head sculpt as well, like the Mando Deluxe. Yeah. The original one, the Beskar one, he came with two heads, right? Because you could take it off.
And just to add on this, let me add on this and see what you think about this. Why could they not give Grogu soft goods?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like they did on the 4 scale.
Exactly. Imagine if they gave that 6 scale Grogu soft goods so it hides those ugly joints in the shoulder area. That was a very interesting decision, in my opinion. Of course, we knew this is what he was going to have from the get-go, but I was like, why did they not give him soft goods? Because they give everything else soft goods. Why not give it to Grogu?
Yeah, especially for Mando as well. I always thought like if you wanted to try and put him in a carrying pose, it looked really awkward because like Grogu was so stiff.
Yeah.
Like the bottom of him was so wide. But
yeah.
this is obviously Hot Toys' first ever DX female figure. So that's pretty interesting. But
really,
I
didn't know that.
Yeah, and so they've never done a female. But I think the proportions on her look amazing. I think that's probably the best female body I've ever seen them do.
Especially the shoulders, like I was saying, it looks fantastic.
And moving on to what Lane was saying with the posability, it's a bit up in the air at the moment because they did it in silicon for this one, same as the Wonder Woman 84. So we don't know how well that material is going to hold up. It could be a lot better than the old rubber ones, but only time will tell. I mean, we'll see Facebook posts in like 2 years' time where people are like, it's showing it the cracks on the elbows and stuff, I guess. But hopefully that's not the case.
I mean, even the Clone Wars Ahsoka is already cracking on people who've had it in extreme poses. So it's like, I don't want to take the chance at all, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I've said this before. I mean, I don't know how common it is, but I've got like the Billy figure who has a seamless torso, and he's 13 years old, and I have him in a really, like his arm is like 90, and it's fine. I take it apart and it looks okay. So I think it's maybe a bit of environment and stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of factors. There's definitely a lot of factors for sure.
I'm hoping that she'll be okay, but I like the way that the silicone moves a lot. I think it looks really natural as well.
Yeah, this looks great, man. And another thing, guys, we didn't mention, the lantern doesn't light up. And what the hell, man?
That was lazy.
Very lazy. Like, I mean, you guys are doing button cell batteries. Like, just give us the old button cell batteries and give people the option. And I like this comment from Bantha Boy. He says, soft goods for Grogu. What do you think this is, a DX figure? Yeah, I don't know what I'm thinking. Funky Cold Santa says, great Ahsoka figure. That's the Yoda base. Yep, that is the Empire Strikes Back Yoda base, just with some slight modifications to it. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yeah, because obviously there's holes in it for the floating rocks. I actually have that figure in my display.
I do prefer the DX20 base. I think it should have probably included
I'm going to hunt that
too.
base down on like one of the part resellers because that base is beautiful. I love the DX20 base. But you can use it for anything, really.
They should have come together. They should have, for the DX21
right.
one. I think
like they did with Bespin Luke, right? They gave us both bases.
Two bases?
Yeah, that's what they should have done with this one. But unfortunately, they didn't. So Monica says, yes, it is. So yeah, that is the Empire Strikes Back Yoda base, unfortunately.
I wanted to show this. This is the third party. I think what's it called, Captain Barbosa, and that does light up. You can't really see it because I have loads of lights on, but it
it currently lit up. Oh, I see it. Yeah, okay.
And it flickers, so it looks like it looks like it's a fire. Lantern. Yeah, and that's like cool. You know, a cheap third party figure. So
come on, Hot Toys, what are you doing?
They could be doing something like that.
Well,
what
hey,
are you doing?
This isn't the first time, and they haven't stopped doing where they only put one base with anything. They keep Batman's the same thing. You know, for the deluxe and the regular one.
Yeah, I hated the Justice League Batman for that.
Those bases, I'm sorry, I know people like those Justice League bases. I absolutely hate them.
I don't like them either.
Bases. I hate them. They're just giant. It's just like if you don't, especially if DTOFs, like you're going to be using those bases. A lot of people are going to be like, no way, I'm using those giant bases. There you go, Ryan. If you needed to be enabled, there you go, dude. Sorry, we just woke you up. There you go.
That looks good.
There you go, dude. Look. There's your enabling right there. That looks so good, man.
Although imagine how good it would have been if Ahsoka's lightsabers lit up. You could see it against the Chrome Mando. That could have looked amazing.
Agreed. Totally agree. Let's see. 8-Bit Flea says, I agree. She doesn't look like a doll. She looks great. I also have Hot Toys figures with seamless bodies that are 13 years plus old with no problems and elbows are at 90 degrees. Yeah, I mean, obviously user experience varies for sure. And also it depends on how extreme you are, right? Because the Ahsokas I've seen, it looks like they had it bent like Lane was saying, like kind of towards the face like that. And when you're going that extreme, the rubber is also like kind of touching itself. So Combat Evolves in the house. What's up, Combat? He says, I'm getting this Ahsoka, but the base one, so the DX20. Can't go wrong with either one, that's for sure. All comes down to personal preference. But thank you, Owen, for sharing your thoughts. CMB, what are your thoughts on the Mando Ahsoka?
Getting it.
I'm getting it.
Getting it. Yeah. It's a great figure.
Yeah.
It was back, like I was saying in the chat, the Big Dog Pound one. It was back during my days of day one pre-orders and instant buys. So I already have her paid off. I'm just waiting for Sideshow to let me know that it's coming. That was before stuff.
Yeah.
I'm all for it, man. I mean, nothing I can really say that everybody else hasn't already touched on, really. So all
I guess we could just
say is
ask you, what are your
getting
thoughts on
it.
the sculpt?
I don't really have a problem with it. Yeah, it's not quite 100% Rosario Dawson, but I mean, it's really it's minor things, and at the end of the day, it's not meant to look like Rosario Dawson. It's meant to look like Rosario Dawson playing Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it's off just by a little bit, like what people are saying, like 9.5 out of 10 for head sculpt, I'm fine with it.
I agree.
It's literally it's not anything that deters me from saying no. I'm not getting it. They missed the mark. This is not the Ahsoka that I wanted. It's the same thing like when Clone Wars Ahsoka came out and people saw the black and white photo and it looked like she had the big bug eyes and people were up in arms about it not looking like what they were promised. And then they released the final photos and those same people backtracked and said, "Oh, never mind. I was mistaken. I was looking at a black and white photo. I jumped the gun." It was the same thing. Like it's one thing to see it in the bright light or a blogger's photos where they do Photoshop and things like that. I'm pretty sure once you get it in hand, people are gonna be like, "All right, this is Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, just like in the show." Yeah, there's like minor things in the face, like how me and Mr. Mom were saying it earlier backstage. Like her cheeks are kind of sunken just a little bit more than she is naturally.
Right.
And her lower lip, like P-Rock, it was explaining on Geeking Out a couple days ago, where her lower lip isn't as full looking as actual Rosario Dawson. But I pointed out, if you look at it, it's there. Like you could see the full lip line. It's just where they stopped with the paint. So a lot of it comes to like paint apps and lighting, things like that. And everybody's different. Everybody is really different. One person could look at it and say that's Rosario. Another person can say that's not Rosario. And another person could look at it and say that just looks like trash. Everybody perceives everything.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? In a lot of cases. Yeah.
It's just like, you go to a museum and you look at art. You could have 10 people look at the same painting. All 10 people aren't going to have the same opinion. They're all going to see something different.
Yeah, very true.
So
very
basically,
true. Well
it just depends on what speaks to you. If it speaks to you to the point where you want it, get it. If it speaks to you where you feel that they missed the mark and you don't want it, then don't get it. Save your money and get something else. I mean, at the end of the day, like I always say, if you ain't paying the bills, then you don't get to tell that person how to spend their money.
That's true. That's true. Well said, dude. I mean, we always say that, right? Don't let people discourage you with what you purchase, or don't let people discourage you with what you don't purchase. So if somebody's like, you're not getting that, obviously a lot of times it's in good fun and joking around, but buy what you like at the end of the day. Don't get discouraged into purchasing something that you don't want, or don't get discouraged in buying something because someone else told you that they don't like it, Guys, I'm liking the idea. Yeah, and I want to say what's up to Oilers, by the way. That's true. Oilers
or
says,
my
what
other
if
rule,
9 of them
buy
are
now,
wrong?
cry later. You can always go with that rule too. Buy now, cry later.
Right. Smoke says, I never get that close to a sculpt usually after I unpack it. That's true. At the end of the day, a lot of people don't get that close. Clone Trooper says single jointed knees SMH. I don't know if the joints are single jointed. I haven't watched the actual full review, so I'm not sure, but it looks like it's pretty posable in my opinion. And also they have her like in a sitting pose. So I think she's pretty posable. Guys, I'm gonna put up another poll too, real quick. I'm curious who's getting the DX21 versus the DX20, which is the one with Grogu. So I'm gonna throw that poll up now because I'm in a poll mood right now. So there's your poll, guys. Go ahead and drop.
Yeah, now you know how to make polls. You're going nuts.
Right, I'm going poll crazy. DX20 versus DX21. The next poll is will Ryan's DeLorean get delayed again tomorrow?
Will my DeLorean show up broken?
Right, or will it show up broke?
Oh.
All right. We're going to move on to Sean.
Hello there. Please make sure to delay delivery of DeLoreans.
Yeah.
Thank you, UPS.
Well, it's all right. We don't even need to reach out to anyone. We got Chris here in the chat to take care of it for us. But Sean.
Our inside man that doesn't actually exist.
If I deliver them, does that count?
Right. Sean, what are your thoughts on the Mandalorian Ahsoka?
Well, one thought I do have is, Ryan, I hope you get your DeLorean tomorrow. You deserve it. You bought it. It should be here. And if it's not, blame Lane. because he started that.
You know, I'm picturing Sean saying that, but then at the same time, it's like I'm picturing Ryan like open his door, being like super happy, and then suddenly out of nowhere, there's a Sean driving, you know, just a semi truck that comes and just kind of accidentally runs it over, like it was a character in a Final Destination movie.
No, if I was gonna pull a prank, like he opens up the brown shipper box, and it's just pictures of me all over inside of it.
Wow, that would be quite the prank, Sean. It'd be a jump scare.
He'd probably be like,
yeah, that would be
really nice.
Oh, so apparently 8-Bit's DeLorean is late as well. But Sean, Sean, what are your thoughts on the Mando Ahsoka?
So the final product phase kind of threw me off a little bit. I thought that the one that we had when they first announced her looked a little bit more accurate than this one.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to get it. However, Rosario Dawson has a really nice full face.
Sean, they're saying they could barely hear you. I think you just have to might have to get closer. A little bit better.
All right.
They said, Sean, speak up, bro.
All right, I'm speaking up, y'all. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about Rosario Dawson face. No, anyways. So her face is really full, you know, including like her lips and everything else. And she has the facial features that you're not going to miss in a crowd.
Right.
And, you know, the quality team here missed out a little bit. It could have been his design flaw. I don't know, but they missed it, but not enough to where I'm not going to get this. So I'm still getting it. I do have concerns about certain poses with the shoulders. And the way I figure it is if I get it and the shoulders start to rip, I'll put the cloak on.
Yeah.
And
that's sure you can hide your crimes with that cloak.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
and that's it.
That's fair. I think for me, like, I just love how good the seamless body looks, especially with the exposed shoulders. I think I'm going to keep the cloak off for now. I know it's sacrilege because a lot of people love that cloak's look because that's how she appears in that forest, but I think it looks really cool. But yeah, great thoughts, Sean. Now, guys, we're going to move on to a recent announcement and one that we've kind of seen before, right? The Hot Toys. Oh, wait, this isn't the Heavy Mandalorian. This is Paz Vizsla, guys. We have a name now for our Heavy Mandalorian. This is Paz Vizsla. They finally gave us the version that's officially named Paz Vizsla. Now, a lot of people are kind of annoyed by this, right? Because it is very, very similar. Now, I will say, guys, right off the bat, these photos we're seeing, and we're going to take a look at the secret base photo of them. But these photos, it makes the blue appear like it's a bit different. It is not. After seeing the secret base photo, it seems to be the exact same shade of blue. So that was a lot of people's first thought. It was like, oh, the blue looks different. It's not. It's because of the shade of blue. It's because of the lighting and the Photoshop in this photo, why it looks that way. It doesn't actually look any different from the original blue from the Heavy Mando that we first got. Really, the main difference with this one, guys, is you're getting the shield here. The energy shield. Now, a lot of people who were surprised by this, I'm not really sure why, because they did show this figure off at a con. So we kind of had an idea that they were going to do this because it was a very easy reissue for them just to put this out. I think this won't be a direct reissue in terms of the body. We saw how they improved the OG Mando, right? Like that one is very much way more posable than the original. I think at the very least, we could say this is like a 1.2, where they improved the body, improved the movement on the figure. A couple things that I noticed, not really too many differences, but it looks like the undersuit is a slightly different shade of that grayish color. Also, the yellow paint seems to be a slightly different tone of yellow. But apart from that, this is a very, very similar release to the first one. Now, I know a lot of people who have the first one are like, we didn't need this. This is ridiculous. This is laziness. And I get it. But like I said, this is something that we knew was coming eventually. Hot Toys showed it off. So it's like, I don't really understand those who are acting surprised by it, because this is not a surprise release. We knew it was coming. We saw the prototype on display with the energy shield, so we knew it was a different one, and it said Paz Vizsla in the display, so we knew it was coming eventually. A lot of people may have just forgot about it because it's been so long since they showed it off, but this is Paz Vizsla, guys. Now, I will say, I am very happy for those that didn't originally get the figure, because he is, or I should say he was, the Heavy Mando. First version was selling for like 300, 350 very frequently. So those that weren't able to pick them up and didn't want to pay those reseller prices, this one is actually only $4 more than the original one at $285. The original one was $281, so not a big difference in terms of pricing. So, guys, you probably are asking yourself, am I angry about this? Not really. Is it a disappointing first release from The Mandalorian Season 3? Not that this is particularly from Season 3, because we saw it in Book of Boba Fett, but I'm not really disappointed. I'm just like, okay, I'm glad that people were able to get them, and I kind of move on. Now, what my plan is, guys, is since I have the first one, what I may do is put a Jon Favreau sculpt in my first one, because I do have the Black Series figure like that, so kind of a nod to that, and then use this one as my kind of more posable Paz Vizsla in my display, where I can pull off some better poses, because the first one is very restricted in my opinion. You are able to get him to hold the rotary gun, and he does hold it very well. I will be honest with you, like, he does have the proper hands to hold it. But I think it's just a bit restricted. So I think, if anything, guys, we will see some improvements in terms of the posability with this guy. And that will be huge for this figure, considering he's such a big figure. This is a big, heavy figure, guys. You saw the image I showed previously. It's a 12.5-inch figure in terms of height. It's a big figure. So Comet Evolve says he's gonna make some little blue shields and sell them on eBay. You might. I'm sure you have a resin printer, a 3D printer. If you're going to be doing that, I'm sure that would do well. But Ryan, I know this is a figure I think you said you don't currently have in your collection, so I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of touched on it. Like, I'm going to get this one just because I missed that on the first one. And the first time, it was kind of a sleeper. Like you said, it came and went. Really kind of was an afterthought. It got kind of shuffled in with all the Mando stuff. That and like you said, if this wasn't, I'd probably be more, well, it's hard for me to say I'd be upset because I didn't get the figure. So for me, it's like bonus. I'm getting them. It's hard for me, though, to be further upset about it because, like you said, they showed it off. So I think people do forget. And I think, honestly, people forgot, and maybe you didn't think they would do it. But it really kind of takes the steam out of the wind out of your sails in terms of argument of being upset when they advertised it. It's just a matter of when. It's kind of funny, though, how they don't have a lot of faith in the Book of Boba Fett branding because it's literally labeled Star Wars,
the Mandalorian. Yeah,
but then it says scenes from the Book of Boba Fett. So I think that if this thing, I don't think if they would have just corely labeled it the Book of Boba Fett, it would have made a difference on sales. But it's just funny. It goes to show you what the real cash grab is, what the branding is. Yeah. How Mandalorian is the bread and butter, so to speak, that they have to actually put that there, and it has no reason on, for this, particular situation. Like I said, it's one of those, you just pass on it, save your $285 if you have it already. There's no need to get it. Connor, I think you're probably going to still get it, but like you said, right?
If I could find a Jon Favreau sculpt, that's the
so
kicker. Yeah.
No, but to be honest with you, it's one of those, like, when they do releases like this, does this really break the universe that they wasted a slot on this figure? There's still 100 and something other
they're still going to pepper us with figures.
Like, so for people to like freak out over this one, like, oh, this would have taken up the slot of something else. This stuff is planned. Like I said, I'm not upset about it. They showed it off. It's here. Move on. Don't buy it. Like, it's not a big deal. It's a cash grab. Obviously, it is, because you're paying $4.
Very much so.
It's like when I could see this being like a 1.2, 1.5, like you said, like with the Durasteel Mando that came with the blurg. It was evidently more posable. So I wish they sold that Mando by itself because it's so much more posable. So I can see the posing be a little better. It's got the shield. That's it. So it's one of those where I don't really see why the community's divided on it. If you don't want it, don't pay for it. Save your funds. Buy something else. And those who missed out, congratulations.
Yeah. The Thick Bantha Boy says, this is a much welcome drop. I mean, who needs a Bespin hand? A team suit cap? I don't care about the team suit cap.
No,
Kid Fisto. Jedi Starfighter, Amazing Spider-Man, or N1. When we
Yeah,
get to
this
figure.
probably took the slot of the N1 realistically. We probably won't get the N1 now because we got the Heavy Mando.
And thus 1,000 people who didn't have space to fit a 6 foot
Yeah,
long
who want an N1 but
giant
don't have the space to
vehicle
fit it.
from their
Right.
ceiling did cry out.
Right. 8-Bit says, are the gauntlets different colors in the OG? So one thing I did notice is the right gauntlet. It's slightly different from the original. Not by much, but there's a slightly different gadget on the end of it. I don't know about the other gauntlet. It didn't look much different to me personally, but it's very possible. But just for me, looking at it first glance, I didn't see any difference.
I will say real fast, my final thought. I don't mean to talk so much. I apologize. I do like them. I do like seeing other. I guess my perception when I first started watching Mando, I do like that there's other supporting characters that are getting good screen time, like Heavy Mando. Like I really didn't think he'd come back after season 1. I thought you saw him and that was it. You know, when he was doing the flyby salute and he was gone.
See you later.
There, yeah. And then you see, you know, season 3, he has a role just like the Armorer. You don't think they're gonna do another Armorer? Like she's another one that I kind of didn't think would have as much of a prominent role, and she's in all the seasons so far. So you're telling me that we're not going to get another Armorer, so prepare to cry out in vain that there's another Armorer. Hopefully, though, we get some better elbow joints.
Definitely going to get another Mando, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, but it's just so there's certain ones you just know, you know. But I do like that there's supporting characters aside from Mando that are getting some love, you know, more than I
for
thought.
Sure, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But well said, Lane. Do you have any thoughts on the Heavy Mando, and is this going to be one that you end up picking up? You're muted, Lane.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, this is one of the eternal, you know, conflicts we have as collectors, is that I'm happy people are able to get this because this is still one of my favorite. This was the second hot toy I ever pre-ordered, and so there's always the possibility. Like I actually commented on Monday on Aries Cantina 6Go Cantina stream. Maybe this one is like a 1.25. And I was comparing it to like the original Mando, Durasteel Mando that came with Blurg.
Exactly.
So so physically, it's going to be the same thing, you know, with all the accessories, armor, and how it looks and everything, other than the goofy shield.
I think the shield's cool, but is it like mind blowing that it's a piece of plastic?
The 10-cent piece of plastic for $4.
Right. It's like that clamshell material they use for the Mark 85 battle damage shield,
or the shield, the one for Cable.
Cables, I don't know. Because I'm wondering if this is molded plastic like Cable or if it's like clamshell material. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, but
hopefully it's like Cables.
Yeah, but you know, it's one of those things where, it's a cool figure. So I'm glad people who want to get him can. Now, is this a guy who I could see going waitlist relatively quickly? Because he's not made any headway in the bestsellers on Sideshow's website right now, even within what should be kind of the golden time for a reissue.
Because a lot of people probably already have them, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so he might be a guy who waitlists pretty quick. If we go by way we look at, you know, trying to go by trends and stuff that we have to sometimes use, you know, magic 8 balls to try and determine what is going on. Right. But guys, if you don't have this guy or something, or something where you've been considering, and I would advise, if you're interested in this guy, or if we see more of him in season 3, and we get to see him become we finally got to see him become a character a little bit, you know, in the Book of Boba Fett, and you know, he had a cool scene in first episode of Mando. If we get to see him have a little bit of a character arc this 3rd season of Mando, and you come to kind of like him, then I would say this is a figure worth picking up, because I originally thought he was going to be like $300, you know, when he came out.
Yeah, and it's not a big jump in price at all.
It's $281 versus $285. So it's like you say, it's not a big price jump. Maybe I'm hoping they improve his just maybe a little bit of flinch. I mean, he's a huge figure, so the amount they can improve his posability is not going to be great. Anyway, you know, he made some figures look like Gumby in comparison for some unmovable ones for how much he can pose. But his Gatling gun is a great accessory. His jetpack, like, he's a cool figure that would go really well if you don't have him. But I know some people might think, well, maybe I should jump to get one of the old ones, you know, because people might sell them to try and get this one. Even though you're going to wait a while, I would say if you're going to get this guy, because there's only a $4 difference in price from his original pricing. I mean, if you can get him for like, $230 or something like that, then, of course. But I would probably tell you get this one and just wait, because there might be some improvements to it from one to
mainly,
the other.
yeah, like we said, mainly the body. But yeah, I mean, it depends on the person, right? Some people are like, I'm not waiting over a year to get this. I want it now. So some people
may not take as long though, because they're reusing a lot of stuff too.
It's all speculation, you never know. But at the end of the day, like some people are probably going to take advantage of those deals on the original one. And I wouldn't blame them, because some people are probably like, I'm never going to use that shield. If they improve the body, cool, but I'm just going to have them holding the rotary cannon anyway. So it's like, I get it. I totally get some people that are going to end up just picking up this one. But yeah, I'm right there with you, Lane. I think it's nice that the price point isn't drastically different from the first one, because I think that would have caused even more of an uproar if they're like, well, how is this one $285 and now it's $300? You know what I mean?
Tell us specifically, other than the stupid shield, what's the difference?
Right.
But so he's a great figure, guys. Though that's the thing. I think of the Mando line.
I love mine. This is a fantastic figure. I know it's not like Ryan was saying, it's not a main character, but it's a great figure for a secondary character for sure.
Yeah, the fact that he's a guy who translated, at least from season 1 and stuff, and see the first 2 seasons of Mando, he's the guy who translated into a cooler figure than maybe the character actually was in the show itself, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. But thanks, Lane. Thanks for your thoughts. Owen, did you have any thoughts on the Heavy Mando? Is this one that you currently have? Do you plan on picking them up?
So I had the original for like a week. I bought it. I bought it really cheap. And then the episode of Book of Boba Fett, I think it was Book of Boba Fett, where he popped
so
up.
You took advantage of that sale.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I like doubled my money. I was like, I don't need him that much. But yeah, he was pretty cool. I liked him. But I assume he's probably going to play a bigger role this season of The Mandalorian. So maybe that's why Hot Toys have decided to do it now, which isn't like them to have one at a relatively decent time. I mean, you know how you were saying about the color change? Maybe the one they have at Secret Base is just the old one with the updated gauntlet. We don't like. They might change it maybe slightly. Do you reckon?
Is there secret? Do you have Secret Base pics?
Yeah, there was a post from Secret Base. Let me pull that up, Owen. But continue to share your thoughts while I pull that up.
I did want to say about the body. So I mean, you know how you said about people were complaining that because of this Mandalorian release, we're not going to get like a Bespin Han or something.
Right.
I said that this is going to be a cash grab for them. They don't really have to do anything. There's no R&D into this. And then I said I did think the XE suit, the Batman figure, that had a really good like articulation for what it was body wise.
Oh yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah,
they might be putting some of that into this. So I mean that's just speculation again, but that could be a pretty cool way of doing it. What else was the other thing? Oh yeah, did you see that Matt said this one comes with an additional hand? Comes with the saluting hand.
The saluting hand. Yes, I did.
Yeah, I like that.
I totally overlooked that. Matt, clutch for Matt. I didn't think it had it.
There it is, right there. Actually, like that kind of answers our question, right? You were saying maybe this is the original one. It's probably not, because this is painted in that same blue, and that's the new hand. So, good point. Good point brought up, Matt. But yeah, I mean,
that's the extra $4 right there.
There you go, $4. Yeah, because the rest of the stuff he came with, the knife, the Gatling gun, and all that stuff, that's all the same, and all the effects look the same. Someone remind me, what is this piece here? I don't recognize this.
That's
piece.
The shield cover.
Oh,
to pop the shield in, right?
When the shield's not in, that's exactly.
That's worth the $4.
Right. There you go, $4 worth of materials, guys. There you go. But cool. I think that's probably all you have to say about it.
Yeah, there's not much to say on this one.
We're going to move on to something more exciting soon, but CMB, do you have any additional thoughts to say about the Heavy Mando?
No. I mean, I got it. I'm not getting this one. I don't need the saluting hand. I don't need the shield. It's not that big a deal for me.
Okay, that's fair. Penn says there was already a saluting hand in the first 1.0. I honestly don't remember it. That would have never been a hand that I personally used, so correct us if we're wrong. I'm not personally sure.
I never even looked. I just grabbed the hand to hold the heavy gun.
The original one had the saluting hand.
So it did have the saluting hand. Okay,
oh, it did.
Yeah.
So Matt, Thanks a lot for making us look stupid, dude. Much appreciated. No, I'm just joking. So apparently the original one did have this. Oh no, Chris's internet's doing the same thing it was doing before.
It was nice seeing him for 2 minutes.
Yeah, take care, Chris. I'll remove him so he doesn't have to sit there spinning. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. Apparently the first one did have the saluting hand. That would have been something I never personally used. But Owen, similar to you, I had a body with a helmet on my original one, like a second body with an additional figure with a stand and everything. And I ended up selling it for like the cost of the figure, and it had no accessories. It had like a couple extra hands, and it had the body and the stand. That was it. And I sold it for like the retail cost, and it was missing all that stuff. So I took advantage of that too, because originally I had plans to do something with the other one, but I'm like, if they're selling for this right now, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to get rid of it because I don't really need to right now. But so I hear you on that. Sean, did you have any additional thoughts about the Paz Vizsla before we move on to our next topic?
I do. The upper undersuit looks like it's a different color than the original one. And I mean, I'm buying it. And also, because we're at 972 and the Hot Toys hotline, once they go up to 1,000, we're going to give away the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian.
Ah. Isn't that fitting, guys? So guys, I mean,
ironic that you're so close and this comes out.
That's true. I mean, Hot Toys might have been listening. Maybe they do really watch us. Maybe they're like, you know what? Since they're giving it away, let's put out our other one. There's some hype generated for it right now. Let's put out. Maybe that's what it was, Sean. Maybe there's some foreshadowing. But yeah, guys. Once again, we got 36 people watching. If you haven't already, if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. Because again, we're going to be giving away not only a Hot Toy, but we got some more stuff that we're going to be giving away. So once we hit 1,000, you guys are going to have a lot of chances to win some stuff. So definitely really excited to get to that point. And I have some new stuff for the channel once we hit 1,000 as well. So I'm patiently waiting to show it all to you. I will say that, but yeah, Sean, and we kind of talked about this when it first dropped. Like the color looked a little bit different, but now, of course, seeing it here, you're like, nah, that's the original color. It looks the same in terms of the paint job.
Right.
I know, Sean. We'll help Sean get that figured out for next stream. Everyone's complaining about you being really quiet. He said he needs to put you on.
Hear me now?
We could hear you. It's just faint. I think as you're so far away.
Okay. Could you hear me now?
Slightly better.
All right. Anyways, with this picture here, though, we can't really see the undersuit and the upper portion of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, they only put up one picture.
Yeah, and the because it looks like the original one was a lot darker, and this one's a little bit lighter, like a lighter gray color.
Right.
But other than that, along with when you pointed out the right forearm gauntlet, which is different, and obviously now the left gauntlet, you know, you can remove that top piece and place the shield. I mean, that's all that I know. It looks like there's a little bit more weathering in certain areas, specifically on the left leg. Looks like
a lot of the weathering's the same too. If you look at them next to each other, a lot of the weathering is in the exact same spot, which is interesting.
Oh.
But
okay.
Yeah. It's very, very similar. And there may be more weathering on the one leg. I'm just saying in general, when you compare the weathering across the body, it is very similar throughout the entire body. So Sean, everybody's roasting your mic. Guys, we're going to get them figured out. Don't you worry. We're going to help Sean test out before the next stream. We'll get it figured out. Hey, at least he's not freezing up every 10 seconds. We're moving on to a start here. We're on a better start here. He's not freezing up every 10 seconds. So at least got to give him credit for that, right? But cool, Sean. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Chris, did you want any? Now that you're in here and it looks like you're stable, did you have anything to add in terms of our conversation about the Paz Vizsla before we move on?
I'm not sure. I still don't think I'm stable here, but good to be here.
Dude, I hate to say it, but your mic sounds worse than Sean's by a long shot.
One's far away, one's muffled.
That caught me so off guard.
I know. He's on it's like a microphone on Club Penguin. That's what it sounds like.
That's an MW2 mic right there.
We just went back in time.
Yes, indeed.
It's 1997.
Chris is like, I'm live streaming from 1955.
Reminds me of some Call of Duty fighting.
Oh, the humanity of it all.
a live headphone swap. He's like, they're not gonna make fun of me. Put my wired headphone. Oh
Man,
Lord!
but I got
Chris.
that headshot. I don't understand.
Chris, it's not better. Chris, you're gonna have to rejoin. It's bad. Hashtag buy a new mic.
GoFundMe for Shaw's new mic.
Chris, it's really bad. I would leave and rejoin. See if you could change your audio source. It's really bad, dude.
You guys sound bad too, though.
We need a new 2.0 version of with upgraded mic accessories.
I know. Maybe we should include headsets.
You know, we could do this. We could do like ASMR. You guys
oh, Sean, look at that! You sound way better. Yeah, you sound way better.
Look at my
please save us.
All right, guys, and on that note, we're moving on to the next.
He's going to put everybody to sleep.
We're moving on to the next topic.
Supposedly that is exciting, but nothing.
Lane Kramer, the swoop bike Santa, was slowly going down the slopes. With his swoop bike swishing all that snow.
Furbo said Chris sounds like an airline pilot.
I guess he forgot that I sold my swoop bike already.
Ready for takeoff.
I wouldn't be buying anything for anybody that I don't already own.
That's true. You did get rid of yours. All right, guys. So this one, we're not going to go down the line. There's going to be kind of an open discussion. And then for the chat as well. Guys, I got to be honest with you. I think that the N1 Starfighter is more possible than ever right now. I really do. I'm going to share a photo with you after we kind of refresh ourselves on the prototype of the N1 Starfighter. And again, no spoilers for The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 1. I will say, though, this is not a spoiler because you see it in the trailer. The N1 does make a return, and it is very present in the first episode. And I know a lot of people here, including myself, we were watching the episode like, God damn it, I need that M1 Starfighter. That's what I was thinking to myself the whole time. I'm like, I need that M1 Starfighter. Guys, I mean, with the marketing and everything going behind this vehicle in particular, I very much do think this is going to happen. I'm going to show you a photo here from Disney as we're discussing this after we watch this video. But I don't know. It just seems all like it's ready to fit into place. I know a lot of people ask about pricing on this one. My personal thought on pricing, I would say like bare minimum, like $1,250. That's kind of the price point.
I think you're being nice and generous there.
I don't think I am, Lane, because they only charge. I mean, they charge what? Little over $800 for the DeLorean.
This is way bigger than the DeLorean.
It is, but that's another $400, right? $500. Like, so let's say bare minimum $1,250. I don't think that's completely
Isn't this thing like
off.
3 times the size?
3 times the size. I don't think that's accurate, but
2.5 times.
Right. It's a considerably amount bigger, but it also depends on the internal structure of the vehicle as well. Cause a lot of it could be hollow
and packaging and stuff is
right.
How they're going to have to work.
And
out
how much of this you have
to
take apart and put together in terms of how many pieces.
Right. Cause if this is not one solid piece, then obviously it makes the molding process for it much easier. I don't know.
$1,750.
You said what?
$1,750.
I don't see it being that. I mean,
I think 1,500 max.
8-bit flea saying 1,000.
I'm not like going beyond 1,500 or anything like that, but I just think 250s. I think that's going to a little bit short.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, me personally, I'm staying bare minimum 1,250. That's my price, and I really do think that's achievable. I think we got to look at history, right? Recent history. Look at the Batmobile, $715. Like, yes, it is smaller. I get that, but then price it in relation to that size of that vehicle, $715. Right?
If this thing's 1,000 or under, it's a steal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, 1,000 or under. If you're a Mandalorian fan, you're buying it. You're gonna find
80% of people buying it.
Look who it is, Big Brita in the house. What's up, dude? It's great to see you.
Below 900.
He says below 900. Brita, hey, I am with you.
No one's gonna complain, man.
Not complaining. That's what I said. 100,000. That's a steal.
If we're like, damn it, 1,400 or GTFO, Howie. Get out of here with that stuff.
And I will say this, Big Brita, he is very familiar with vehicles. He is no slouch when it comes to 6-scale vehicles. So, guys, I mean, maybe he's speaking that price tag into existence. You never know. But good to see you, Brita. Thank you for that prediction. Wayne says this is one of the sexiest ships in all of Star Wars.
They did a HasLab project with this?
So they're not going to do a HasLab only because they have well, here's why. They released a vintage collection M1 Starfighter already. It's not up for pre-order yet, but it's $131.99, I believe. I think that's the price tag on it. So unfortunately they didn't do a HasLab. I was hoping they did, but they are doing
toys.
Oh, you're saying like if Hot Toys did like a HasLab style, yeah.
I think they should go down that
if
route.
Hot Toys did it.
Gauge interest.
I mean, it wouldn't be very surprising to me considering the price of this piece. It's a very pricey piece, and obviously the size, right? There's a lot that goes into this, guys. Like there's a lot in terms of figuring out how to ship it, the assembly line. It's a massive vehicle.
Yeah, it's bigger than what I thought it was there.
Yeah, it's a massive vehicle.
Back in the day when sideshows multimedia was actually something sort of cool.
Yeah. Oh, look at them sneaking the prototype to Boba Fett in there. That's very random.
Well, it gives it some more scale too, seeing the figure I like. Outside.
It looks so good.
Oh, it looks fantastic.
Yeah. Here, because I talked about this is
that Boba looks good too.
If they put this out, this is what I think they should do with this. Like to really like this is the most premium of premium thing. And what do you would think of this? I think that I know they did like a number thing for that Loki president or whatever, like last summer or something. They had like 1,500 for how big, huge, and I guess this is the premium of premium for them. I think that this should be like their first time where they announce with it N1 total number being made, like it's like 200 or 250. Like they have a number that's being produced. They're going to have the pricing for it. There should be some sort of numbering on the box. Like they're making this like a premium statue. I know it's not the same thing, but this is like a J&D statue of Hot Toys or 6-scale action figure collecting, where this is the most premium thing. We're going to have a certain amount. It's going to be available for pre-order amount this time. Once they're gone kind of thing. And
I think it'll be a short run for sure.
Yeah, but I think they should do it like that to make this
a short run.
Yeah, they should make this. If this is the biggest, most premium thing they've ever done, they should have it be numbered, have the box number, like make this the biggest event thing that they have done. Like that's how I think they should do it.
Wouldn't it be economy of scale where the more they make, the cheaper they can have it, the more they'll be able to sell, the cheaper they'll be able to have it, and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
I think I'd be leaning more on the sides of being worried of making too many, being stuck with them.
Yeah, I definitely see that.
Low batch selling them, because you know what you can always do? You could always reissue it.
So this is what they might do, right? They know their numbers, right? They're going to say, okay, we need to sell this amount for it to make sense. So let's say, like someone in the chat said, TK said 1,000. Let's say they set their number at 1,000. They're like, cool, this 1,000, we sold enough to where it was worth the R&D costs and everything like that. They very well could do that. I wanted to bring this up, and of course, we're still going to continue to have our conversation here. But guys, Disney at the Mandalorian Season 3 premiere, they put an N1 on stage. If that doesn't tell you that they're very invested into this vehicle, and we're seeing Vintage Collection get a release for the M1, I don't know what does. This tells me that they're probably having conversations with Hot Toys about this, and probably already have had plenty of conversations about this with Hot Toys. Again, to me, it just seems more likely than ever. And whether we want to believe it or not, I know Hot Toys maybe not our channel, but they watch some channels. They have a PR team going around and watching and figuring out what the people want. So they're very aware that we want this. I mean, and people always have that question like, oh, how are we going to find room to display it? It's like, it's one of those things you get it and then you find room to display it, right? That's just how it is with vehicles like this. Like, you could prepare as much as you want, you measure, you do all that, but then when it actually shows up, that's when it really comes time to make room for it. And I think people will make room for it. If you have the space and you know you could squeeze it somewhere. Like me, I could find space for it on a shelf somewhere, but I really do want to hang this from my ceiling. I know people joke about that, but I really do want to take like high strength fishing line and hang this from my ceiling. That's just my personal thought on it. And have some sort of LED light shining on it. I think that'd be really cool. Brita says they need to bet on the overseas market. It's a very large piece for the Asian market. Yeah, and I had a couple of friends who live in Japan and Hong Kong, those areas. They were saying that like housing is very much way smaller there than it is in like the US and the UK and Canada and places like that. So it very much is a big piece. And I did see a Hong Kong based collector who got his Batwing, and he literally had to like shove the Batwing in the corner of his room, and it just looked very awkward. But I kind of feel for him at the same time, even though I wasn't a fan of how it looked on display. It's like that's probably the best he could do with the size of a house that he has. And he had a pretty big collection, so Yeah, that's a very, very good point. A lot of people, even in the U.S., a lot of people are going to have to find room for. You're going to have to scurry to find room. And Brita, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you're in the Hong Kong area, correct? I think that's where you're located. So you would probably know that firsthand. I guess that's why you're bringing that up. TK says, just give one to Adam Savage. It'll sell like hockey. Hey, Adam Savage, he even sold that that Ecto 1, the original Ecto 1. He even sold that, and that was $3,000 on Big Bad Toy Store. So certainly there is an Adam Savage effect, that's for sure. Wayne says, I think collectors will, but this is just a flip down the line, even if they never plan on displaying it. I mean, yeah, but this is a large piece to hold on to flip. Like, I don't know how many people will be dedicated to that, you know? I'm very curious. Oh, and another thing, CNB just reminded me the Afterlife Ecto 1 just got delayed. Actually, today it just got delayed until July, or excuse me, June to July. So those of you who have that pre-ordered, you're going to be waiting a little bit longer, but some of you might not care because it's a very very pricey
$2,000 almost when shipped.
Yeah. Okay, Brita. So Brita, you're in. Okay, I see. Child, 1 hour from Hong Kong. No wonder you get all the cool stuff first before everyone else. And Brita, I've been watching you a lot for the third party stuff. You're getting me up on my third party. You and Owen, because I'm relatively new. Actually, I got one of my first third party things today, and that was my my head sculpt for my Limb Toys Arthur Morgan. I got the mid beard sculpt today from 1/6 Kit. So I was very, very impressed with the paint job considering it's third party. Like, it looks really good. So I'm really excited to get that figure in, and John Marston as well. Exactly, Eddie. Everybody could finally breathe, right? They could all breathe again after they got that delay email. I mean, I don't blame them. That's an expensive piece, man. And that's one. We're talking about large 6-scale vehicles. The Ecto 1 is massive. It truly is massive. And that's one that a lot of people are passing on, not only because of the price, because of the space. That's a very large vehicle to find room for. Gambino says he's passing on the M1, but happy for those that will get it. Appreciate that, dude. But yeah, guys, I wanted to show you this real quick because I find it very interesting that Disney is so heavily marketing this N1. It's like, it just makes a lot of sense to me right now. So I do think maybe we'll see it sooner than later in terms of going up for pre-order. And also, I wanted to point out that the What's New Coming Soon page on Sideshow is still up for the N1, so there is still hope, that's for sure. You could still actually RSVP for this, so you get an email if and when it ever does go up on pre-order. So, hey, if you're on Sideshow, definitely consider doing that.
Book of Boba Fett branded.
They're definitely going to change that. Right. They definitely might end up changing that. It's very, and like Ryan said, it's very interesting. They're like, this is a Mandalorian Paz Vizsla. This is not the Book of Boba Fett.
Inspired by the Book of Boba Fett.
Right. Inspired.
They don't trust that brand holding up by its own.
I don't blame them.
Yeah, I think our hopes for a black car Stanton are kind of out the window now at this point, unfortunately. But yeah, guys, I think the hopes for the M1 is definitely alive and well.
Am I right in saying there's a alternative Mando and Grogu on there as well that came with the same?
Yeah, so this is a special, like, from what I understand, this is a special set developed just for the M1 Starfighter. So I imagine it's probably made to fit easier inside of the vehicle. I don't think they gave us many details beyond that.
Mando's got his ass out.
Yeah, I don't think they gave us many details beyond that, unfortunately. JP says, no way I'm getting it. And at first I thought there was no way they do it, but now I'm kind of thinking it's coming. And JP, I was right there with you. I had my doubts when it first got shown off. I'm like, that's a massive vehicle. I don't know if they'll do that. But over time, my opinion has certainly changed, especially with all the stuff getting announced. That's another good question.
Surprised, though, that we never got an announcement last night or tonight.
I know. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking the exact same thing, Sean. Yeah, I think so. At this point, because they cut their stuff off. Typically, obviously, they change it up every once in a while. But typically, if we don't hear anything Thursday going into Friday, you're done for the week. So probably, going into Monday, we'll see that. Sorry, I was just reading Chris's message. But yeah, I wanted to address this too, and anyone else can chime in on this as well. Big Brita says, do you guys think they will change Fennec to Mandalorian release instead of Book of Boba Fett? It's very
not at this point. I think it's too late.
I think it's too late. Yeah.
I was about to say it's very interesting that you asked that because I think at this point that figure's so close to coming out, they probably have already we've seen the packaging. Perfect example, the Hot Toys DeLorean. It has the old wheels on it, so they make this packaging I think well in advance before they actually make the figure or the vehicle. So I feel like they probably already have the packaging made with the Mandalorian branding, or excuse me, Book of Boba Fett branding.
They could have just kept her as the Mandalorian, like Casca Reeves or something, and they might liked it better.
Yeah, that's true. Wolfmoon says, no, I really want a Black Heart. Dude, so do I. I mean, when we were talking about Book of Boba Fett stuff during that time, I was like, I really, really want a Black Heart. And I thought we would get it, and unfortunately we did not. And I think that ship has kind of sailed for that one, unfortunately, especially seeing them changing the branding on that Paz Vizsla. I'm like, that's not good. And 8-Bit Flea points out another good thing. He says the N1 and the Mandalorian / Grogu set both have a SKU number. So yeah, I would imagine they'll do one or the other and or both, maybe 3 SKUs. I don't know if they've mentioned an additional SKU. Maybe they will come announcement, but I think that would be cool if they did 3 separate SKUs. You could buy the set by itself. Bantha Boy says you never know, it might drop tonight.
That's true.
I think it's Monday if it's gonna happen. It'll be.
Yeah, specifically Monday.
Yeah, they do
first.
the big ones on Monday at the moment. What TMS number is it on right now? What was Paz Vizsla?
Good question. What was Paz?
That's a TMS. That's
yeah. Is that what I said?
TMS.
Yeah, he did say TMS. Sean.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
097.
097. Oh, so maybe they'll wait till 100. They'll wait till
it could be 100.
That's
it's
probably
they're gonna squeeze out another couple Mandalorian. We might get a Grief Karga maybe.
So Monica, I don't know if Monica's still here. He says it seems pretty likely that we're gonna get that Grief Karga. So I
like the new look.
I love it. And I love the little droids holding the back of his cloak. That's amazing. It's amazing, dude. Yeah. So Matt confirmed it for us. He said TMS 097 was Paz. That's possible, Bantha. That might be my second chance. That might be my second chance at my Black Heart that I really want. Let's see. Eddie Rodriguez says, please like and subscribe. Only 26 more to a grand. Thank you, Eddie. And thank you, everybody else who's been bringing it up in the chat. I can't believe how close we are to 1,000. So, guys, if you haven't already,
25.
Subscribing to the channel. 25. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much to everybody that has subscribed, not only in the past, but during this stream. I very much appreciate it because 1,000 is a huge milestone for me, and it's something I'll never forget. So I'm very excited to get to that point. There we go. Owen says TMS 100 M1. Heard it here first. Not at the moment. Combat. I haven't heard anything about Jesse. Unfortunately, I know we're all impatiently waiting for Jesse, but not at the moment. Guys, we are going to move on. We're going to take a quick look at the last chance page. A lot of craziness this week with the wait list, guys. A lot of craziness. So as I mentioned earlier, oh crap, guys. Doc Brown is back on the last chance page. This literally just happened because I refreshed like 5 minutes ago. And Loki, okay. I'm gonna have to pre-order on stream, guys. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. I need this Loki. I need this
President Loki. That's not a big.
That's not President Loki. No, that's TVA.
Oh,
Loki.
I can't see up close.
He just got delayed as well, right?
So Doc Brown, listen, guys.
Delayed
Doc Brown and Marty just got delayed, right? So they got delayed to July from part 3. But here's the interesting thing about Doc Brown, guys. This part 3 Doc Brown actually showed up on the last chance page the other day, and he went right back to pre-order within the hour. Now he's showing last chance again. I did already pre-order him and Marty when this happens, so don't worry. I don't need to grab these guys. But let me take a look at Loki before I jump the gun and not. Maybe I could wait till after the stream. Okay, he's just low stock. We're okay.
Yeah,
We're okay.
Loki got delayed, right?
Breathe. You're about to have
I swear I saw that.
Bro, this sculpt though is so freaking good, man. Like a lot of people were talking about the sculpt for the Endgame Loki, or in other words, the 2012 Loki. But this sculpt,
dude, I want to get this sculpt and pop this on the Endgame.
Yeah,
Loki.
It is gorgeous. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are going to do.
They did the hair really well here.
Because that Endgame Loki technically is this Loki, so you could pop his head off and put it on the other one if you want the Loki show look from the first episode when he.
I want to. But yeah, dude, that's a great idea. I think a lot of people might do that, Ryan, because you could definitely replicate that kind of slick back hair look that the endgame Loki has. That's interesting, man. I mean, the Doc Brown puzzles me, guys. I don't know what to say about that because again,
it never happened to Marty though, did it?
Never happened to Marty. It never happened to Marty.
I have Doc paid off. I gotta grab Marty.
Yeah, so very interesting, guys. Doc Brown is back now. Marty, let's do the test with Marty. Let's search Marty and see if maybe he just didn't make it to the page yet. I'm very curious. Sometimes, okay, so he's not shown. Let's see if he has a blue cart warning. He does not. So Marty is
how many can he add to the cart?
Well, of course you say
The
that
full
after.
6.
I'm sure it's the full. Let me go back. Yeah, you got. Let's check Doc. This is very puzzling, guys. Again, I don't know what to tell you about this. I will say this. If you're not one of those people that are totally against pre-orders, it might be not a bad idea to pre-order this Doc Brown. I know you could be jumping the gun, but guys, it's $27 to put your NRD down. If you know you're going to get them, and maybe you have some rewards or a coupon, the Marty, I don't see any reason to even bat an eye at it because nothing's changed on him. The limit is still 6 on the Doc Brown, though. But again, it is very weird and I'm very curious as to what's going on with this because, again, he went last chance, went immediately back to pre-order within the hour, and then jumped back to last chance again.
The sideshow games never end, sir. They never end.
Summer games. Let's check the DeLorean while we're here, just to be sure. Let's make sure the DeLorean. Let's make sure he's all right.
Oh yeah, so Loki TVA did get delayed, July to September now.
Jeez.
Matt says I'm in fear mode.
I can sense
Matt, get
it.
out of here. I have most of these figures on pre-order, don't you? Actually, everything but the Loki TVA I have on pre-order, so we're all right. Don't you worry. But that's very interesting about the Doc Brown. That's very, very puzzling. Combat says, I don't use Sideshow much. Other sites are better IMO. Yeah, I mean, everybody has their preferences. I use Sideshow. Lately, I've been dropping a couple pre-orders with Off the Racks as well.
Hey, man, Sideshow customer service came in clutch for me that night. You saw it live.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And there'll be, hopefully, for your DeLorean as well.
Yeah, so that's the other thing, guys, with Sideshow. I know their prices aren't like the cheapest, but they do have some of the best top-tier customer service I've personally ever experienced. So
facts.
And even if you sometimes get from your LCS, usually they're having to go deal with Sideshow's customer service if they're trying to get something corrected anyway. So
that's true. So yeah, guys, very interesting. Again, some other news, guys. We're gonna move on to the.
We just can't get rid of that neon tech, though, can we? With the game,
I actually saw that today at my local comic shop. My friend and I were taking a look at it, and it's actually really nice in person. It's just something I would never pick up. But guys, I wanted to bring this page up because this shows our waitlisted stuff, right? Because some stuff did join the waitlist over this past week. So as we scroll down here, we'll come upon it, I'm sure. So let's see. So here we go, guys. So as you could see, waitlist open for the Grand Inquisitor. Waitlist open for the Riva Third Sister. And then moving on to the next page, waitlist open for Valkyrie. Waitlist open, the Black Adam. This is the standard suit, not the golden armor. Waitlist open for the Black Adam standard suit deluxe. And finally, the Batman and Bat Signal. That set, obviously, it went back up for pre-order, and it was on low stock, but it hovered in that low stock phase for about a month or so, I would say. That one finally did go to waitlist again, so we'll see if that's the final blow for that one. I'm very curious.
Hey, Connor, I would point out, too, if you guys are trying to, several of the Attack of the Clones figures, that were having full waitlist for a while, have opened up, like Clone Trooper, Clone Pilot are both open. So if you want to try and get in on one of those, you still can right now.
Yeah.
Are open.
Okay, so it looks like, guys, and this was just pointed out by Matt, it looks like Cobb Vanth is now showing another. So this is another one, guys. This one actually ended up it got corrected on Monday. So this one did go last chance, and it went waitlist, and then it went back up for pre-order. So this one is now showing last chance again. It seems like their inventory is making some moves here. Another one I want to check real quick before we move on is I want to check Fennec, because this one she's been sitting for a while. This is an older pre-order. I'm very curious if this one has had any movement. Let's see. Let's take Cobb out. So Fennec looks like she's okay. I have not ordered my Fennec yet, so I'm keeping an eye on her. I'm keeping a close eye on her. But that's all the updates in terms of the wait list, guys. Very interesting as we pull up the last chance page, and there's some new stuff on there, considering I had just checked. But we're going to move on to some third-party stuff, guys, some third-party news. Now, the first thing is, and this one was very surprising to me. So we had an update post from 1/6 Kit. Now, remember, guys, we had talked about this before. I had mentioned to you all that there was some misinformation going around about the Buzz Toys White Wolf here. And they were saying, I think it was Neo Geek Toys. They put out an email blast saying that this company went out of business. Evidently, that was not true at all, because here we have some update photos. Now, I will say these sculpts are looking pretty solid. I'm not completely sold on the black-eyed sculpt, I'll be honest with you, but here we have an update on the Buzz Toys White Wolf, and I think the sculpt's looking good here. Again, when I look at these, I still much prefer the sculpt on the So-So toys. That's just me personally, but Thick Bantha Boy says Sideshow's favorite game to play. I mean, here's the thing, Bantha Boy, and I'll say this, like, obviously they still have some gaming going on with certain things, but we can't just say game across the board yet, because we don't know, right? It's like, once again, the clone trooper that is shipping out right now from Sideshow, that's still on wait list. So we have to continue to monitor this stuff so we can really get an idea of where things are going to go moving forward. I just don't want to tell everybody to assume that everything that's happening is a game, because I certainly don't think that's true. But there's no denying that certain things have been a little questionable in terms of, oh, it's sold out. Oh, it's back on pre-order. You know what I mean? So it's still happening, but I think across the board, we can't really assume that everything's a game just because there's evidence showing that it's not, right? But again, time will tell. Time will tell really what's happening with all of this. But yeah, so there's some update photos across the board for the whole figure. So they're showing the boots. I think this is a die-cast chain, this Witcher chain that he has. That's a lot of different pieces there. Look at all those hair sculpts. How creepy is that? But definitely good news for those that pre-ordered this figure. I just wanted to update you guys on this. I think it was cool to see update pictures after all this time, because I think this guy's been on pre-order for over 2 years, I've been told. So next, some other news for those that are fans of the Mars Toys products. And Owen and I were kind of briefly talking about this earlier. I don't have any final product photos for you yet. However, apparently, I think within the next week, right, Owen?
Yeah, next week is they're letting out some small batches apparently.
Yeah, so this one's going to be shipping out soon for those that have pre-ordered it. Ryan, did you say you're picking this one up?
Oh, I have it on order already. The problem is I don't know if it was early enough to get first batch, but I grabbed this the minute it came out.
See, I'm not the biggest 66 Batman fan, just because I was never exposed to it when I was younger. But this Cesar Romero sculpt is beautiful, and the fact they captured the mustache that he had and everything, it's beautiful, man. And the coolest thing about this is that, real quick, is that that accessory base that you can buy separate with the surfboard. It's beautiful, man. It's so cool.
It's just cool because if you fall into the accidental pit of collecting like live action, figures and stuff. I mean, if you already have previous Jokers, which is like the 89, and you have Heath Ledger, it's just cool to have like this one added to the collections, just like how, you end up collecting every live incarnation of Batman, which, George Clooney's technically the last one. Hashtag George Clooney, hot toy. Where is it? Let's go. But, even for that sake, but it's just awesome for a third party. And it's only like $160, $170. I mean, it's a home run.
Yeah. I think Mars is doing a good job of coming in very affordable. Again, this is not one I'm personally interested in, but it does look fantastic. The tailoring looks great. The sculpt is fantastic. And I think this one will be a very much a home run if it's like any of their other recent stuff that they've done. So I'm excited to see some photos of people getting it in hand and see if it compares to the prototype. Brita says, this Joker looks incredible. Saw it firsthand this week, and the quality is amazing. The suit is tailored perfectly. Accessories quality. So you've seen it in hand. Very interesting. I wish I had photos of it. Owen and I were hunting around for those. I reached out to Mars Toys. I was like, hey, you got any photos of the final product yet? And I'd never heard back, so I guess that's a no. Oh, yeah, Eddie, it looks great. Again, this is one that I'm not getting, but I can very much appreciate it. I think it looks fantastic. And I do have some Mars Toys products on pre-order. I have the Keaton Bruce Wayne and the Riddler, the Jim Carrey Riddler. I will be getting the Two-Face as well when that goes up, which should be in the next couple weeks, I'd imagine. And then I'm very much keeping an eye on those Back to the Future figures that I've been begging them for. Not yet. I haven't heard anything yet about those figures, Big Dog Pound, unfortunately. Matt, oh, and I wanted to pull this comment from Matt. Matt says, Mark III, Cobb Vanth, the DeLorean came right back. Multiverse of Magnus Strange and many others stayed on waitlist. Exactly. So there is a mix of still the numbers kind of fluctuating on stuff and it going in and out of waitlist and on pre-order. So it's not the same across the board. It's very difficult to predict, but that's just my thoughts on it. I totally understand that the hesitancy to believe that this stuff is real because it's so different from what we're used to, but you have to still pay a close eye on it, in my opinion. Apit Fleece says the only third party I have on order is Blade, and I use your code with the kit. Awesome. I'm glad you're able to save some money on that, dude. Like I said, that's what that code's for. I don't make a single cent off of that, but it's strictly for you guys. I am working on getting another discount code from a US-based, very reliable comic shop. Again, not something I will make any money off of, but I'm working on getting a discount code with them. He's just working on setting it up for me, but that's what it's there for. My code is Hotline. I'll put it in the chat for you. So Hotline is my code. Again, guys, apparently others haven't pointed this out. I believe it is a one-time use code. Of course, if you other streamers that have codes for there, I think you could use those as well in a separate transaction. But as far as I know, it is a one-time use code. So definitely keep that in mind. Yes, code Hotline. Yep, exactly. You got it. He said, speaking of Two-Faced sideshow. Hey, Bantha Boy, I understand it, dude. I totally do. Again, there's a lot of uncertainty right now, and I totally understand. And once again, when I say drop a pre-order on it, I'm not. That's just my advice on certain things. I'm not telling you to go out and pre-order everything. And like CMB often says, if you're not going to pre-order immediately, have some backup sites. Keep an eye on your backup sites. Sideshow is not the end-all, be-all when it comes to stock, and we've told you guys that many times. There are so many like local comic shops that no one even ever thinks to look at. Just search around for the figures on Google and kind of dig deep into the listings, and you'll find plenty of places selling this stuff long after it's sold out, just because there's so many different options, and a lot of them are certainly untapped. So definitely keep that in mind when you're looking around. Now, another figure I wanted to pull up, guys, that I thought was this one's kind of goofy, but I am curious. I haven't talked to Owen about this figure yet. And this one actually will probably go with some figures he picked up recently. And that's our Will Turner third-party figure. This is by a company called SW Toys and partnered with TG Toys. I don't know about you guys, but that Orlando Bloom sculpt, it ain't doing it.
Is that Orlando Boone?
I don't know who it is, but this one's not doing it for me.
I'm not seeing Orlando Bloom. Maybe Orlando
Dude's got
Bloom.
A boxer nose.
Yeah,
maybe some cauliflower ear too cigars. If
he really spoke really annoyingly to the cabbie Robert De Niro played in Taxi and got punched in the face.
Yeah, this is I don't know, man. This one ain't it. And the thing is the who did the third party? What's his name?
Barbosa.
Captain Barbosa. Yeah, who did the third party of him? Is it a different company? I'm assuming, right?
I think so.
That one looked okay. It wasn't 100%, but it looked okay.
It wasn't great.
I know, but it looked okay compared to this, I think.
Yeah.
And I saw some people.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think I saw some people rooting the beard and the hair, and it did make a big difference because I think the beard on that one was a little weird. But go ahead, Cigars.
Oh, it was SW Toys.
The best
Really?
third party for Pirates of the Caribbean is the company that made Davy Jones.
Was that like TD Toys or something? TX
something like
Toys,
that, yeah. It was something like that, yeah. But I think they made as far as third party with Pirates of the Caribbean. I think the Davy Jones figure is the best one so far.
Well, we got to see Space Davy Jones.
Well, why we need that, Lane, when we have Orlando Balloon here?
Yeah, oh man, that face is oof.
Yeah, this is rough.
If these guys are like, hey, we can be Toys' dramatic rival or something like that in third party once a scale Street Fighter, then they are sadly mistaken.
It's such a random look for them to choose as well.
I know. Why would they choose this?
Dude, that is not Will Turner.
No, they call him Blacksmith Turner too.
Three Musketeer.
Why not do him as like Captain Turner, like he looked like when from the end of the third movie, or even if they did for the fifth movie when he didn't have tons of seashells on his face, or something, something like that. This is not what I think of when I think of Will Turner. I think of pirate Will Turner. They
need to do it. Would be cool if they did like a bootstrap Bill figure with all the crustacean stuff. Like, dude, that to me, that is my favorite part of Pirates of the Caribbean films. Like the and even like Captain Salazar, his crew, they look so cool too with all those different special effects and everything. So it would be cool if they tapped into some of Davy Jones' crew. That would be really cool.
Bit of trivia: Bootstrap was the only character that was not CGI.
Wow.
Movie prosthetics and makeup.
I did not know that.
Else.
I didn't know he was the only one. Fun fact, yeah.
Yeah, fun fact. Everybody else was CGI.
I did not know that.
And CGI has gone backwards from making stuff look realistic since then.
That stuff was impressive, right, Lane? For the time, it was very impressive. Oh, he looked
impressive for them. They've gone backwards, bro. Since then, I mean, we just got to see She-Hulk and stuff. We were like,
right.
Now TV versus big budget movie. Different things, even though.
And I never saw Davy Jones hit a twerk either. To be fair, so I can't compare.
So no. She-Hulk.
Why'd you have to put that image in?
Working Davy Jones, baby. That's why he's
playing the piano at the same time.
Yeah, but he's.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god,
that character was just so. I think Pirates of the Caribbean, you could say, and we're gonna pull up our main screens here as we're getting ready to close out. But I think Pirates of the Caribbean was just so well done over the years, and like that's why when you were talking about that DX-15, Owen, I'm like, I love that base. That base is still one of my favorite diorama bases they've ever done.
I still kind of want to get the Grindelwald from
Grindelwald, yeah. I have that figure. It's fantastic.
The Johnny
really
Depp
is.
one, just because we're never going to see probably a Johnny Depp.
I'll tell you this right
obviously
now.
Obviously not our favorite look to him or anything.
Some, and especially the Newt Scamander, some of the best tailoring ever from Hot Toys. That suit is so well tailored. Not only the suit, the undershirt, everything is just so. And the sculpt on Newt Scamander,
excuse me
amazing.
If I feel like running from anything that has Ezra Miller's facial like this at all.
Well, at least they didn't. Yeah, they didn't do his character, but. Yeah, I was very excited to pick that. Dude, I hear talking about fun facts. Last year, I got Newt Scamander and Grindelwald as a package deal on Mercari with the exclusive accessories, complete in box. They were brand new, $200 out the door. Out the door, $200. Shipped. Of course, Mercari. It was on Mercari, so you pay taxes, but it was like. So it was like $220 out the door.
Yeah, he found those on the back of a truck.
Yeah,
the dude was selling a bunch of stuff cheap, dude. He sold Infinity War Bucky for $150.
Damn.
So he was selling stuff cheap.
He robbed his neighbor down the street.
Yeah.
Well, it's Sideshow too. I mean, Sideshow couldn't get rid of those two figures.
No, they couldn't. They couldn't. I just told myself, dude, I'm like, you know what? I am gonna go and grab the in-art stuff for Harry Potter, but I was like, this might be the only Harry Potter Hot Toy stuff for a long time. And I'm like, I actually like the movies. I even liked the most recent one, even though they recast poor Johnny Depp for Lars.
But they got a good guy to play him with Mads.
Right, Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah, Mads Mikkelsen is a great actor.
He's another good actor. So.
But it didn't sit right with me. It didn't. Regardless, they
were still a little off between the two characters because they felt a little bit different.
But Jude Law did a great job as Dumbledore. I think he was awesome as Dumbledore. It's just I don't know, but I still enjoyed the Fantastic Beasts series as a whole. And Newt Scamander, he's amazing. I love Newt Scamander. He's such a great character.
Technically, they're both good figures, like from a technical aspect.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic, and I love that they have a hand with the wand built into it. I'm like, that's very clever because that alleviates the issue of it falling out of the hand and stuff. It's very clever. But Eddie says horrible and Ant-Man. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up. I know we did kind of get slow at points. I can kind of feel it myself, but it's the information that we're covering, right? Some of the stuff you guys have heard many times. Once again, as always, guys, thank you so much for being here. Chris, I'm sorry that you were having so many technical issues. I haven't heard your mic. I didn't want to bring your mic up if it was still working poorly, but we'll get it figured out. We're going to get Sean's sound figured out, and we're going to get Chris's microphone figured out. Don't you worry. But
I thought we
that,
figured out that the sound just needed to be like this.
That's right. So Sean, people want to see your face anyway, so you got to get closer, man. But we need your beautiful shining face every stream, Sean. We need you on here, alive and well, up in the screen.
Hello and welcome to the Hot Toys Hotline. New experience. Dirty dishes
in VR.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, that may be
40X.
true, but at the end of the day, man, still the centerfold of this entire stream is, of course, the Hot Toys Hotline.
Oh, Lane, you do me such a service.
I know.
You do me such a service.
Your face is the
That's
one
what she said.
here to see.
I'm a slouch compared to Owen.
Like crap.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
actually not bad. It's actually not bad. I think. He's like, of course.
Right at the end.
Chris is like, of course it works now.
Owen's got the baby face going. Like he's got the Harry Potter baby face going.
Yeah.
He had to throw the Harry Potter in there.
Every time.
But yeah, guys, I want to say thank you everybody for being here, and also, guys, thank you everybody on last week's stream, or excuse me, on the beginning of this week of the Tuesday stream. Thank you everybody for being there, talking about Back to the Future, Part 2, Doc Brown and Marty. Once again, if you're not in the Facebook group, head on over. We have an awesome Facebook chat that we talk in almost every throughout the day, almost every day. And there is a poll right now for this coming Tuesday's 2.0 or Leave It Alone. We let you guys vote on what you want to see. So definitely go and vote on that. I will close out the poll, by the way. I didn't close out the other poll from earlier. Let's end that poll. Let's see. The Ahsoka poll, we have 66% say DX21. So it seems like most people went with the DX21 just because they wanted that Dio base in the Grogu. I'm not surprised by that. Everybody's saying good night. Take care, 8-Bit Flea. Thank you, as always, for hanging out with us. Payton says, great stream tonight. Thank you, Payton, so much for being here. Eddie Rodriguez, my friend, thank you so much for being here, as always. You have a good night as well, and enjoy your weekend. Matt, one of our awesome moderators, Some Guy, everybody, thank you so much for doing a great job moderating the chat. Some Guy, you too, man. You're absolutely killing it today, and we very much appreciate you. You are the best. And he's dropping a link here for Owen's Instagram in the DTOF. And then he's also got a link for the Facebook group. Wayne, thank you so much for hanging out with us, dude. I very much appreciate it. It was great talking to you, and thank you for the great comments. But once again, guys, thank you so much. If you haven't already, subscribe on your way out. If you're not subscribed, it looks like we're at 276. We are so close to 1,000, guys, and I can't wait to celebrate with you guys. It looks like Misfit Wolf was here in the chat. Misfit, thank you so much for being here, dude. And if you're checking us out on the replay, I hope you enjoyed the stream. But guys, yeah, just to update you, I am doing my iconic Ryu. So don't you worry, Hot Toy Collector. I know you're going to ask. And also, one final thing. Thank you. Once again, TK is not only a mod in the Facebook group, but he's a mod in the Discord. We do have a photography contest going on in the Star Wars Memorabilia and Lore Discord to win some prizes. So head on over to there, join the Discord, drop a photo of some of your toy photography photos.
Should I go over there and drop some stuff? I didn't know.
Should. We need more entries. So guys, head on over to the Discord if you're on Discord. But yeah, as I said, I will be doing my iconic Ryu review. Also on Monday, I have, once again, my Clone Trooper coming. So I'll break that down and do a review on that as well.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I have some other videos planned. I have some other videos filmed that I still have to edit. I'm being a little lazy on that one. I still have to edit those, but don't you worry, they're coming. Of course, YouTube Shorts as always. I actually have it in hand, Alex. I'm going to be doing a review on it, but I will say it's a fantastic figure. I'll give you that much. It's a fantastic figure, and I can't wait to share it with you. I really cannot. But yeah, that's all I got. Ryan from Mr. Mom Collectibles. Ryan, I know you just posted a really awesome video, and I still have to watch it. I watched the original one before you had to kind of re-edit and put up another one of your John Wick accessories from CRO Customs. Do you have anything else planned? I know we talked about your DeLorean that's coming up. You got the DeLorean coming tomorrow.
Yeah, so I did if you're a John Wick fan, I did a video I just posted of an accessory kit that I think anyone who has the John Wick Hot Toys figure, you need to have it. It's unbelievable from CRO Customs. So that's up. I just did a YouTube short real fast of an unboxing of the Chrome Mando. So he's up as well. The biggest stuff is going to be tomorrow. I got the DeLorean coming tomorrow, plus the 1984 Wonder Woman. So I got two of them coming. I am going to film the DeLorean tomorrow and put up the review tomorrow because I'm off. So I'm going to film it and review it. So that'll be up. And then also for anybody who's interested, I have a set of mods that I'm going to do for the car. just like decals and other stuff that I'm going to do. I'm going to film individual videos for those. So if anyone who has the DeLorean and just kind of maybe are interested in giving it a facelift, and not going radical like drilling or like just, you know, cosmetic facelift. If you guys want to check that out, I'll have some videos of that, of just some mods that I'm doing. So check that out as well. So that stuff, I'm going to try to film all that tomorrow and post stuff up over the next couple days. So
nice. So yeah, guys, check out Mr. Mom Collectibles. Links not only in the chat, thanks to OG and some guy, but also in the description. Lane, as always, thank you so much for being here, dude. We very much appreciate you hanging out with us. Sean from the Hot Toys Nightmare. Sean, I know you're getting your clones in. I'm assuming you're probably going to do one of your famous show and tell videos on the clones after you get them all out of box and everything.
I will. Once I get the next 3, or I'm sorry, once I go through the other 2 and make sure everything's in there, I will.
Awesome. Yes. So guys, there's a link in the description for Sean's channel. So it sounds like that's the next thing Sean's going to be doing. And Sean again said he has 12 of them coming. So I'm very much excited to see what you do, Sean, with that. I envy your collection from afar. You know, I have a lot of the figures you have in your collection and then some, but I don't have the armies that you have, and I never will because I just don't have the space for it. So I very much love seeing what you do with that because it looks awesome. Can't deny that. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. CMB. Thank you so much for being here as always, dude. Once again, guys, I always tell you, you can find CMB here and also with our friends over at Geekin' Out. If you haven't already, check out Geekin' Out. You often see me and Ryan over there as well. It's a great channel. If you're not over there, I don't know what you're doing. Head on over and check out Geekin' Out. It's a great place. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already. But thank you so much, CMB, for being here as always. We very much appreciate you.
Love being here.
Thank you, man. And I always say this, it's like I have so much gratitude for the people that are here with me every night, because guys, this stream is not, it might be my channel, but it's not me. This stream is very much us, and I consider it an us thing. Every time we go on, I'm like, this is our stream, you know what I mean? Because I might run the thing, but I'm nothing without my boys here. So I very much appreciate you guys. Moving on to Owen from In the DTOF. Owen, thank you so much for being here as always, dude. Again, guys, links in the description for Owen's Instagram. He is also at In the DTOF on TikTok as well. I know he's doing a lot of awesome TikTok. Very consistent. So yeah, definitely check him out on TikTok and Instagram. But thank you so much for being here as always, Owen.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's great to have you. And finally, the airline pilot this season, this episode, I almost said this season because of Dragon Ball Z comments. This episode of Hot Toys Hotline, we have Chris from Collecting Madness. Chris, I'm so sorry you're having issues this stream, but I know that means next stream you're like, I'm not going to let this happen again. So we're going to have you right back in the swing of things next stream. But I also appreciate you holding it down in the comments, because you're making a lot of good points there in the comments. But do you have anything coming up on your channel, Chris?
Yeah, a couple things. So we just hit 500 earlier in the week, thanks to you guys. So you really pushed that a little bit to go on that final stretch. So we're there. So
congratulations, dude. That's a big number, 500, man. That's no joke.
Moving on to 600 and 750 are the new goals. And yeah, like Sean, I got the Clone Trooper coming in Monday, so I'm gonna try and get that on the channel. The DeLorean, whenever that decides to be delivered, that'll be on the channel. If you're a fan of WWE, I have a new ring coming. I'm replacing the old one that I did. So that'll be up on the channel as well. And that's about it. Just putting out shorts. I took a little bit of a break this week. It's been a slow kind of week as I wait for stuff to come in. So yeah. But yeah, thanks for having me as always. You know, even though I was late, I enjoy being here with you guys.
It's not your fault, man. It's all good.
Yeah, I can't wait to have the new setup. So
as I always say, you're never late, you're always on time. And Eddie, this is a very sweet comment from Eddie. Eddie says, I can't wait till you hit 1K. I'm making it a goal to be your first super chat. I appreciate that, dude. You guys, you don't have to donate, but if you feel the need to, that really hits me in the heart, man. Because if you want to give me your money because you're here with us, I very much appreciate it. So thank you, Eddie. It's always awesome to have you, and everybody else here spreading the love. Pan in the chat saying Mr. Dishes in the crew. Big Brita, thanks so much for hanging out, dude. I'd love to do a stream with you one time, dude. I very often watch your videos, especially again with a third party. You've been kind of unknowingly schooling me. And our friend Monica always has great things to say about you. So I've definitely had my eye on your channel for a while, man. So it's great to have you here hanging out with us. And yes, very much congrats to you, Chris, on the 500, dude. You, like I said, you deserve it more than anyone, even more than me, dude. You deserve it. You're the most humble guy I know. So
he's a legend.
I'm a legend.
Nah, some guy. I mean, you are too. This whole
Say,
panel is.
I'm no legend.
Is, but,
I'm no legend.
He's always showing the love.
Some guy is the man, dude. We love you, dude.
Yeah.
We very much appreciate you. Big Bantha says, big ups to another banger stream, Def Top 3 stream of the week. Hey, I'll take top 3. Does that mean maybe our Tuesday stream was number 2 or number 1? Maybe, dude. Maybe that's where the other spots are filled by. But no, we appreciate you, Big Bantha boy, as always. But guys, that is all we got for you. Again, I know the stream got a little slow in some spots. I could feel it myself, but it's sometimes it's what you're covering, right? You can only say so much about a clone trooper. As much as we love clones, especially a plain clone.
Paz Vizsla version 3.0.
And Paz, that's another one. Like it's like everybody's like, I've seen this before.
Much more hype, baby. Much more hype.
But don't you worry. Next week is another week.
My YouTube's messed up. So some guy, you're the man. He said I'm the man, so I'm saying he's the man. My YouTube comment thing, it won't let me say comments, so I gotta fix that.
It sounds like YouTube being YouTube. I can't comment on like most channels at this point. But go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
So I have a feeling Paz Vizsla is going to replace the armorer.
Maybe he'll be the new leader.
I mean, that's a theory.
There you go, guys. There's a theory on the way out. Paz Vizsla is going to be the new ruler of the sect.
I don't think
of
ruler.
The
I think he's just going to be an armorer. That's what I think.
Oh, you think? Okay, you think he's specific? I got you. I mean, I could see it. I could definitely see it. Thank you, OG, for being here.
There you go. I was gonna say throw love out to OG because he was dropping them links.
Yeah,
too,
OG.
so.
Sorry, OG.
Love you, bro.
Yeah, OG. I always say this, guys. Sometimes I'm scrolling through the chat and I miss some of you, but I very much do appreciate every one of you. OG, some guy, insane one who couldn't make it tonight. Everybody, Matt, everybody here. We very much appreciate you guys, and thank you so much for spending your time with us this Thursday night. Have a wonderful, awesome weekend, guys. I hope we get some more emails. Again, pay attention to that last chance page if there's some stuff on there that you're interested in. Pay close attention to that because you never know what's going to happen. And guys, put your good luck towards Hot Toys Hotline so I can get my email from my DeLorean maybe next week. Hopefully next week. Ryan's shaking his head, dude. You know what, guys? I'm gonna leave you with this. I got the Back to the Future Part 2 figures coming next week, hopefully. So
and I hope they 2.0 those.
And I'll buy those too. I'll buy them too.
2.0.
2.0.
Yeah, 2.0. All right. But we're gonna end it out here because we're 2.5 hours in. But
we've been doing goodbye for about 10 minutes.
Right. There we go. Thick Bantha Boy says I lumped the two together, both bangers. This and Geeking Out is my jam. We appreciate you, dude. I'm just joking around with you, of course. OG, take care, dude. It's always great to see you, and thank you so much for all of your help, as always. But that's it. That's all we got for you guys. We will see you on Tuesday. And again, if you subscribe to any of the channels here, look out for content because there's stuff coming, especially from me, Mr. Mom, Collectibles, everybody here. We're all putting out stuff, so keep an eye out. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Remember that tax refunds are not meant for